Whoop, whoop. Let's get it. Whew. I am here. I'm sorry. I'm a couple minutes late. I had to put face lotion on. I had to. I don't know why. And I have to put it on my head. You'll never see my head, but I have to put it on my head. I just have to. I apologize. I'm late. Stereotypically valid. 2 minutes late for someone like me is actually a couple of minutes early. You have to understand. Anyway, here in the biggest shirt that I could possibly get, I am here to bring it to you guys. Let's get into it. Thank you for all the love in the chat. I love that you guys are here. I love that you guys are chatting. I really, yes, hit the like. I listen, I always forget to say it. Thank you, it's me, for reminding me to say it. I have to say hit the like. It's the most important thing. Besides the information, besides even Mikey McCoy. I know I feel a little crazy saying something like that. Even above him is the like button. Okay? You know what? I take that back. I can't. It's important, but it's not that important. I apologize. I apologize to Mikey McCoy. Anyways, guys, let's just get into it. A lot of you guys liked the podcast with my wife. A lot of you liked her voice. And that was always a thing. Guys would always be like, let me see your wife. And I'd be like, bro, where do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? We can fight in Texas. I love Arkansas. We can fight in Arkansas if you want, you know. They probably got mutual combat over there. We can do that. But yeah, we have a lot of those episodes. I'm going to put together a playlist and show you guys because we did a lot of breakdowns together. One of the best ones, in my opinion, is my wife found out all the people who were in the Bilderberg group and then all the people who were in the World Economic Forum. And that was very eye-opening because it was a lot of the same players. It was very, very interesting. So we will get into that when I have it. I will show it to you guys. We're going to be discussing the video call that the video call where there was someone named Erika and she was talking to everybody, and I saw Baron making fun of that upspeak. I was like, oh man. I saw someone in his chat, they were like, I can't wait till Coach does the upspeak. I'll do it. Of course I'll do it. When in Rome, you know, when in Turning Point, do as Turning Point does. So let's jump into that. And then also, I'm just going to touch on what Candace touched on about being lied to. The way she like painted it was very interesting. And then we are going to jump over to Jeremy boring at Turning Point. I know Jeremy's boring, but we do, sorry, not at Turning Point, at Trigonometry. I have a lot to say about those guys, all three of those guys, honestly. Don't know why Joe Rogan has befriended those guys in such a manner, but he has. All good. And then we're going to go over to some Baron content because I was working out because, you know, I'm jacked now. I don't know if you guys know. I'm really jacked now. Okay. I've worked out 3 times since I got my gym. Okay. Just putting it out there. Get ready. Get ready for Clone Colin to arrive. Okay. With the 6-pack. With the 6-pack in the Bucky hat. That's all I'm going to be wearing soon. I was listening to Baron and he found this clip that nobody's seen before. I got to talk about that. And I gotta give him some props for something that he said in his live. Then I'm going to touch on Dave Smith. Dave Smith says something very interesting about Tim Pool. Tim Pool has this, again, he goes on another wild rant, another just unhinged rant. And then there's some released footage of Alex Peretti. That was, I don't know, he's the young gentleman who lost his life at the hands of ICE. There's been some more footage released about him, and I think this might be a Candace Owens moment of mine when I go into it. It will upset some, it will liven up others, but aside from that, we have to jump into this beautiful picture with the mint as the halo. I mean, does it get any better than this? Like, does it get any better than this, ladies and gentlemen? Let me just go to the bottom so you guys can see the pure cinema this person put together here. Check this out. When things got serious, I grabbed the mint and ascended. Friendship dissolved, Halo refreshed. Oh my gosh, Philadelphia. Mikey McCoy, just the magnificent, beautiful Mikey McCoy. Halo, the mint as the halo is just perfect. I mean, who did this? How do I say this? Adika? I don't want to say it another way that I could say it. I'm going to say Adika. Thank you so much for making this. I mean, it makes all of our days. I mean, you even put the American flag. I mean, this is just beautiful. Absolutely. Like, this should be on the wall behind. Like, forget Joe Rogan. That picture should be on the wall behind me. I might have to make that happen. We might have to make that happen. But also, I have to update you guys. We may have to buy a warehouse, okay? This is got put together here. We may have to buy a warehouse. I'm just putting you guys on notice.
Get ready for the little coach with a big personality. It's the new Coach Colin talking toy. Press the button on his back and hear his famous phrase. He even claps along, just like on the show. And every Coach Colin comes with a box of cool, refreshing Philadelphia mints. The Coach Colin talking toy. Catchphrase. Get ready for the...
Whoever made that is absolutely amazing. Just incredible. I want one of these. If I gave one of these to my kid, you know how happy they'd be? I don't know, guys. We're gonna have to buy a warehouse. I'm telling you. That's what we're doing here today. I hope the mods are in the chat right now. I know you guys are in the chats. I see number 3 with the crown, number 1 with the crown. Somebody said 200. 3,000. 3,000 people watching. I won't even write it down. Somebody said that they don't like the Dominican DJ joke. They were really upset by it. But you know what I have to say? 3,000 in the chat. I know Black Poppy. I. Oh my gosh. It's okay. Listen, they're jokes, man. Not every joke is going to hit every person. Not every joke people are going to love. But let's jump into this whole thing. Candace talking about how Erika, like, straight up lied to her face. And I think this is it. Candace saying this is all that there is now. The gloves are off. There's no more playing nice. There's no more her talking nicely about Erika. That time is done. And, you know, I'd still like to be charitable to Erika where we can. I just don't know where we can in what we've seen in this call. I mean, you could hear somebody smiling. You ever notice that? You're on the phone. You know, I used to work in like telecommunications, and they would say people can hear your smile over the phone. I'd be like, get out of here with that stuff. And then I heard this Zoom call, and I was like, oh yeah, there's teeth. I can hear teeth. I can hear them. And we were right. We were right, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear the teeth in the call. That's what I thought when I heard the audio. Now the video. Please hit that like button. It helps so much. Let's jump over and just hear Candace talking about this a little bit. And then we're gonna talk. Is that fluff on my hey, come on, get it. Can you help me? There you go. Can you help me? Where's my wife when I need her? That's what she does. That's her main job, removing fluff from my face. Anyway, let's jump in.
After combining what we have learned throughout this investigation to be a fact, and after now speaking with employees who were let go in this recent string of aggressive firings, employees that did nothing or weren't told that they did anything, they certainly were not the people that were leaking to me, that I do believe firmly from the beginning that Erika was intimately involved in the PR messaging and the PR campaign at different times against me, sometimes against the entire world, but against me in particular. Just to recap why this is now suddenly important, no one's picking on her. We have confirmed for a fact that she lied. She lied to my face, actually, regarding the Superman neck. She blamed that on Andrew Colvett, said that he went rogue, that Dr. Lee Trotter also went rogue, violated HIPAA, that they hopped on the phone and did this without her consent or knowledge. Then on top of that, Andrew then sends out a tweet. I told you, confirmed to you, the doctor did not violate HIPAA. It was actually a 3-way call. And the statement pertaining to Superman neck came from her. Andrew Colvett, in that regard, was doing Erika's bidding. He was taking a figurative bullet for her. She did not misspeak there. There's no way to look around it. She lied. She lied right to my face when she said that. She knew that HIPAA, he didn't violate HIPAA. She lied to a doctor, a surgeon, and she knew that she was on that call. So let's just say that clearly. We've also now confirmed that she was at the Hamptons retreat, the now infamous Hamptons retreat. She was present when Bibi Netanyahu called. And that bothers me because I was out here catching a lot of heat for telling the truth. Now, we have two different versions of that story. Andrew Colbert said that Bibi offered to fund Turning Point to the next level. I have since confirmed what Andrew Colbert said with two people that are not related to Andrew Colbert at all. Erika, despite being at that dinner and confirming that she was there, does not remember that part. She says that there was not an offer that was made and that Bibi was calling about the letter that Charlie wrote him back in May. Andrew,
do you know how crazy that is? I didn't realize that at all. When I heard Candace say that Erika was actually at this whole Hamptons thing, I don't know. I don't know if it's that important, but for me, I figured she was not there at all. And now she's saying I don't remember that part. That's a pretty big part to not remember, you know? Somebody's casually like, hey, to your husband, do you want $150 million? And then your husband goes, nah, I'm good. Thanks, man. That's a pretty big part to not remember. Wouldn't that be his biggest donation ever? You just wouldn't remember the biggest donation. I guess you can call it a donation. I don't know what that is at that point. At that level, is that a donation anymore? I don't know. I guess so. But you know, you wouldn't remember that. That would just kind of breeze past you. And also just towards what she's saying, because basically, Erika and Andrew, they're just missing Shemp. They're like Larry and Curly, they're like Larry and Moe, they're just missing their third stooge, that's why they brought Gary on board. They were like, we need a third stooge. And Gary was like, he started spinning on the ground, running on the ground. That was his audition. But I wonder what kind of fights or conversations that they have behind the scenes when it comes to this kind of thing, because wouldn't there be some kind of argument back and forth? Erika's like, just say that the surgeon broke HIPAA, and he's like, we can't say that, and she's like, just say it. Who cares? What are you talking about? Do what I'm telling you to do. I don't know. It seems all very weird. I don't even know. I think she threw him under the bus, but I think they're just working together. Like, I don't think Andrew's doing it reluctantly. I think he's doing what a PR person would do. This is what PR people do. They make stuff up. They push whatever narrative they have to push, and they try to make the company look as good as possible. So let's keep going.
Confirmed to me that Charlie described that summit as like an intervention was being staged over Israel. So I find that to be interesting. Again, with everything that we now know, my assumption was she didn't wade into things, didn't wade into the water, and didn't say anything about the debate that was happening because she was so overwhelmed and kind of catching her breath as the new CEO and chairman. I think now I have a different perspective on that. I'm not sure why she did not come out and say, if she was capable of doing calls and sitting down and doing meetings, come out and say, like, yes, this Hampton Summit did happen. Yes, Bibi did call, and try to work through with Andrew why they have different memories of whether or not he called to fund things to the next level. We have also confirmed that Erika and Andrew were working together on that Fort Huachuca PR response. That was the craziest tax I've ever endured. Alex Jones, quite entertainingly, he's coming for me my whole life, everything. But that PR response was confirmed that she was a part of that through this obscure YouTuber, Paramount Tactical, rather than going directly to me after we sat down. That, to me, seems like a pretty strong violation of a well-meaning conversation that I had with her for 4 hours. And I should also mention that was the same YouTuber, despite also going into Mitch's entire past, Mitch knows past. But after calling for a ceasefire and saying, let us sit down and talk, they welcomed Paramount Tactical onto Charlie Kirk's podcast show while I was in this hotel room to debunk me. I had no idea it was happening. And then that's, I think, was the beginning of when it clicked to me, seeing that him being caught live, Andrew Colbert live messaging something from Erika after she told me that they were disappointed in Andrew, that he wasn't going to be involved in PR anymore. That's when I realized that I was being lied to, that she was making moves behind the scenes. And the answer that we will likely never get, to add one more point here, is whether Andrew was lying or Erika was confused. And I would like to say that I don't believe Andrew was lying. I believe Andrew was telling me the truth when he said that when he stepped off of the plane in Provo on September 10th, he basically collapsed into Erika's arms, crying on the tarmac. Because
it's very interesting, man. Yeah, I'm kind of on the page with her there. I don't know if Andrew was lying. I mean, here's the thing. PR people. I mean, somebody even said it in the chat. PR people should know about gaslighting. I mean, they make stuff up. If something happens, they do damage control. That's what they are. They're really damage control people. It shouldn't even be called PR. It should be called DC. It's damage control all day. That's what it is. They're just trying to control the situation and make the company look pristine. And if they get thrown under the bus, that's it. But what's really interesting is that she says that Erika said in the meeting that they had that she was disappointed in Andrew. If you're going to throw someone under the bus, you throw them under the wheels. You know what I mean? You don't throw them in the middle of the bus so they can go, oh. No. You find that big old wheel and you just say, get in there. That's what you do. If you're going to do it, you do it right. So I can't fault her for that. I cannot fault her for that. That's what you got to do sometimes. You got to throw somebody directly under the wheels, I mean, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in him, some people have said that they think she's like a pathological liar. And I was against that. And I feel like I still am, but I'm coming around. I'm coming around. That's a very odd thing to do. Like, that Candace talks to him. You know what I mean? I always find that weird when you have a friend, right? And you usually get rid of this friend. But you have a friend and they're making something up about someone else who they know that you can talk to. They know you have their number and you can call them anytime and they still make up the thing. I always find those people fascinating. Just fascinating. It's just so ballsy. It's just a crazy amount of ball. Very big, like so big you should probably get those things checked out and make sure there's not tumors on those things. I mean, that's how big those balls have to be to do something like that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I don't think Andrew was lying. I think Andrew was doing what he was supposed to do. And, we could say what we want, but, he was with Charlie all the time. They did get along quite well. They laughed together. Do I think he hated Charlie behind the scenes? I don't think so. I think they were friends. So it's like your friend's gone and his wife's there. You're like, okay, I'm going to do right by his wife. I'm going to do what I tried to do with her. That's what I'm going to do. and then she's a nightmare. Oh, and then she's a nightmare, just meets you on the tarmac. Oh, I have to get to the What are you doing here? Hi, Andrew. What's up? Pyrotechnics on the tarmac. Hey, Andrew. How you doing? You okay? Come on, bring it in. We'll be all right. We'll be all right, big guy. Let's head over, okay? Do you want to eat first? Before we go? I'm kidding. She wouldn't do that. She's a nice lady.
As he had all of his pent-up emotion, had this big plane. Everyone was messaging him about Charlie asking for his status. He didn't know what was going on. And the impression that I got was that Andrew was on that plane alone. But then we were later told that Andrew was accompanied by his wife. But Erika, during our face-to-face meeting, had no recollection of his wife stepping off of the plane. When I asked, I said, was he with his wife? She was unable to answer that question as to whether or not Andrew flew in with his wife to Provo. How is that possible? Is Andrew lying about that? Or is Erika misremembering? What we know thereafter is that when they arrived at the hospital, after waiting for an hour, if Andrew is to be believed, then she waited for an hour on the tarmac for Andrew's flight to land. They arrived at the hospital and went in through separate entrances. Andrew went through the front, main entrance where there were other TPUSA staff there, people that were there on that day. And Erika went in through a back or side entrance. These are the facts, okay? If they disturb you, then you should know that you are not alone. The world obviously melted down yesterday when we played the corporate-wide call hosted by Erika to Turning Point employees following the memorial event. The overwhelming consensus, the human response to that is that you feel disturbed when you listen to it, spiritually disturbed by the emotion of it, the happiness. Speaking about merchandise being sold, hats being sold. Again, this is not a sales call. This is...
What up, guys? We're here. Y'all see how many hats we sold? What's going on? Y'all see all those hats? Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody getting those hats. Huh? High five through the screen, y'all. She didn't do that. Come on, she wouldn't do that. But, I just find that very interesting. Lie to her face when they're actually in a meeting together. And I don't know why you would do that, right? Some people go with the whole pathological thing. A part of me feels like it seems like a person who's kind of I've brought this up before, a person who's scrambling because something could happen to them. So they're just making up whatever they got to make up. I don't know. It could be that, right? We have had the notion that Andrew's life could be in danger for everything that he knew, because he knew everything Charlie did, right? Which is why he didn't tell anybody about the message, and he didn't say certain things. He didn't want it to get out, the group chat message. He just wanted it to go to the authorities. He didn't want it to go into the public and be known as the person that was outing things. Yeah, I don't know. That's as charitable as I can get, is that, BB, somebody said it in the chat here. Excellent, by the way. BB, Minton Yahoo. I mean, that's just great. That's just fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to be using that later. Who knows? You get that offer. Because here's the thing. I brought this up weeks ago. The offer that Charlie supposedly, allegedly, because Erika doesn't remember. Andrew does, but Erika doesn't. But then Andrew also said that's not true, but he told Candace that it is. It's like, it's just such a tangled web. That's what they mean when they say tangled web, That offer of $150 million, supposedly, allegedly, whatever, says no. Charlie says no. But then, after he passes, they make that same amount of money and more. I don't know. It's kind of like the Dave Chappelle thing. He walks away from $50 million for years, then goes also Netflix, and a whole bunch of things happen, and then he makes the $50 million and then some. It's very weird the way that happens. I'm not comparing Dave Chappelle to Erika. They're a little different, a touch different. Somebody says here, Erika forgave Charlie's alleged assassin immediately. She fired those who she feared don't like her. Think about the kind of person that does this. It's very, yeah, I mean, it's true, right? And then Sam Parker said, what Erika Kirk promised to Candace Owens, a follow-up to resolve Erika's failed first Huachuca alibi attempt, what Erika delivered, alibi silence, a cease and desist letter to Candace, and a motion to hurry up Tyler Robinson's trial. How do you interpret Erika's response? Something to think about, You're lying to Candace, to her face. You're throwing Andrew under the bus. It could be someone who's just a constant liar. We're at 6,000. DJ, I know Black Poppy. Yay! Anyway, that's so ridiculous. Someone said they don't like that joke. Hey, let me tell you something. You don't like a joke, and you tell me via DM? Oh, we double it. Okay? I'm the youngest sibling in my family. Do you know how annoying I can get? Okay? I'm the baby of the family. Annoying people it's the thing that I've been doing since I was a baby. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay? Let's get into the phone call. Of course, the narrative, this is Candace listening to the phone call. Oh my God. It's so funny. This is the narrative that's going to start being pushed, of course. I mean, it immediately started on X as soon as Candace went live with this information. Candace literally doesn't understand how grief works. Oh, she doesn't get it. That's the thing that's going forward. People are like, all I saw was leadership. I saw leadership. I saw a CEO. It's exactly the same type of thing where you're watching something and they're telling you not to believe their eyes, just like Biden. You were watching Biden. You're like, he fell up 9 stairs. And they're like, yeah, that's what happens when you're extremely fit. He called Zelensky Putin. Yeah, that's what you do when you're just like so smart and you have so many thoughts running through your head. That's what happens. And you're just like, wait, what? That's what my grandfather does. He's in a home. And they're like, yeah, he's probably in a genius home. Am I right? And you're like, what is happening right now? Well, that's the narrative that's starting to be pushed in regards to Erika and this call. People like this are even saying, Candace Owens, it backfired. I still don't get why I'm supposed to be upset. Erika stepping up as a leader and reassuring her employees that they won't be fired in hard times. Well, 40 of them will, but not all of them. This makes me, this is the type of narrative that's being pushed. This makes me respect her even more. What? Are you sure? That's the type of narrative that's starting to be pushed about this whole thing. And just to show what Candace Owens was talking about, a lot of people don't know, yes, that is the man himself. Can we make that bigger? That is the man himself. That is him right there. Same sunglasses. You can see him right there. Terriel? I don't know. Farnsworth? Is that how you say it? Farnsworth? That is him right there. Again, 5 days after Charlie passed, he's in there doing his thing, probably just on the search for SD cards in the building. He's just like, he's scouring the building, just opening up cameras, being places he's not supposed to be, just contaminating things, just doing what he does best. But that is him. And that was a good catch by Candace. A lot of people started looking as soon as she said that. And there he is. That's 100. And listen, room for error, that could be, you could say, oh no, that's just a guy. It looks like the exact same glasses to me. It looks like the same haircut. It looks like the same build. It looks like the guy to me, So in case anybody's like, hey, I don't think that's him. Okay. But to me, that looks exactly like him. Now let's get into this call, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning of the call. Never seen her that happy before, I mean, she looks as happy as Charlie did when he was talking with Candace. You know what I mean? I mean, some real happiness. A lot of people speculate that these rings are like connected to some Masonic thing. I don't know if they are. One of them's a G. I don't know what the G stands for. I have no idea, but let's get into this.
There you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show. You loved hearing his wisdom on things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and
so that's the beginning, just so you have that in its full context.
Just that right there, the happiness that we see, I can't get it off my mind. Someone in the chat just said, Erika equals I know human papi. I mean, just so good. You heard my joke. You heard what we were talking about. You put them both together, made your own joke, put it in the chat. It was held for some reason. I let that thing fly so everybody can see it. I think that's absolutely amazing. 7,000 in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button. It helps tremendously. Tremendously. It helps so much. Let's start going into the call. And then I'm going to talk about, often, again, to explain, so many people always are asking to explain. There's Mortal Kombat Ultra. That ran for a number of years, decades, in fact. It ran for decades. And they did a lot of wild things. And then, as they kind of dismantled it, which, there's really no proof that they did, but there is a 1977 Senate hearing where they did discuss Mortal Kombat Ultra and what it was turning into, or the offshoots that it was spawning at the time. And one of those things was called Often. There was a few other ones, but Often stood out to me the most because if you look in Hollywood politics, you see the symbolism, you see the weird, I'm not even going to say satanic, I'll say occultist. You see the occultist vibe throughout Hollywood. You see it in politics. You see weird ritual seance type things. You see it in the concerts. You see it in the rallies. So when I look at things, I don't focus on all the offshoots. I don't even focus on Ultra all that much. I look at Often as the thing that's being pushed the most, because that is the thing that will penetrate your subconscious without you having to go through any wild procedures of any sort. It could be done often. When you look into Often, it could be done with a phone. It can be done by just you embracing your political side. It could be done by you just embracing an artist or a various artists and listening to everything they say. It's really focused on getting into your subconscious and altering consciousness, not through any type of substance, but through your whole belief system. That's why I focus on often. And that's why I'm going to bring that up while we watch this call, because I think it runs rampant through this call.
The word happy in the context of Charlie and how he must be feeling in heaven. I'm going to let this play out for 5 minutes straight, and there is no context needed other than this is 5.5 days after her husband was publicly assassinated. And yes, in the background, that is Terrell Farnsworth, the guy who took down the cameras. Yeah, but we are going to see some grief. So I'm going to allow you guys to watch this for 5 minutes.
Had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them. I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because that's what we want. And like I said to our small group, after whatever day that was, and I did the thing on TV, how many days are still around Good Friday. I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted.
So I'm going to stop it right there because, what does that sound like? What we're hearing at that point? We're hearing somebody say, you've had personal conversations. She wants them to journal them. So write them down, okay? Keep them close to her heart. Tell their kids about them. What else do people do that type of thing with? They do that with scripture. They do that with religious scripture. So she is now comparing Charlie and the conversations people have had personally with him, and she's trying to, marry that with some kind of scripture. You should be writing this down. You should be keeping this close to your heart. You should always remember this and let this fuel you as you stay a part of the Turning Point family, right? That's why people are talking about how weird this whole call seems, right? That's what the people who are saying this is leadership. This is why that narrative is silly. And listen, 100% easy to confuse because that's the point. You're supposed to confuse it with leadership. You're supposed to confuse it with something good because it's meant to go into your mind, into your subconscious, right? Again, imagine doing that. Imagine having a personal conversation with somebody. You write it all down and then you tell your kids about it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just that right there in Project Often, what they talk about is symbolic belief manipulation. That is one of the things. That is one of the core, I don't want to say pillars, core tenets. That is one of the things that they focus on, right? And a lot of people know about this stuff. Now, am I saying that Erika is some kind of expert in psychological warfare? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I know about this project, I know what it entails, and I know I'm seeing it here. That's all I'm saying. Not to say like, is she doing it purposely? Maybe she's just, I don't know. She has these, high up parents. Maybe that's just a natural thing when your family is associated with defense and, the Defense Department and Homeland Security. Maybe that's just a natural thing that you grow up with, Like my mom was funny. That maybe it's just a natural thing you grow up with. Just taking people and manipulating them. Some people learn to be funny from their parents. Some people learn things like that, Everybody learns something different from their parents, Let's keep going.
And it'll be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by doing that. We're going to stay humble. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. And we're going to just make it grow. And we're going to keep our eyes fixed on heaven. And, like even Stacey said, he's gonna find ways to speak to us. And he's going to speak to you in different ways. Every person's going to be different, but you'll get little moments where you're like, okay, Charlie, I see you. It might be here on campus. It might be in quiet moments of the night, but he's here and he's more alive than ever. And he's going to guide us. Then we just have to remain humble. But again, what I told the team was
that right there. Okay. Some people say when you do that, you're trying to like muster up tears. I don't know if that's true. because we've never really seen any tears from her. Anyway, no. What she just said there. There's going to be times where he's going to speak to you. Again, what does that sound like? He's going to speak to you. It may be at night while you're by yourself. It may be at other moments. But there are going to be moments when you can feel him speaking to you. What does that sound like? I'm in a Christian men's group, okay? I have people talking about this all the time, and they ain't talking about Charlie, okay? They're usually talking about Jesus. They're talking about God. That's what this is. They are pairing him with that, with Jesus, with a Messiah of sorts. I did a whole episode on this of why they're doing this and what it causes in people. It causes you to really, aside from everything, it causes you to dig your feet deeper in the sand for their cause. That's what it causes you to do. But yeah, he's going to be guiding her, or he's going to be guiding all of us. He's going to be speaking to all of us. He will be there. You will feel him. I'm telling you, man, it's a major tactic. And again, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she just does it naturally. Some people are natural. Barron said, I'm a natural at going live. Maybe she's just a natural at this. I don't know. We're all natural in different things. Terrible thing to be natural at, though. I guess. I don't know. Could be good. Especially if you end up running a company worth like $350 million. I don't know. But at what price, Let's keep going.
I will fight like hell to make sure that all of you have a job here. I don't want anyone to think the job's in jeopardy, because your family, if you choose to leave, that's different. I never will, and I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you. And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together the best it can. Obviously, circumstances, things there's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't foresee in the future. But for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo. And I think that's the best thing to do. And everything else we can worry about later. But I just want to let you know that you guys are all very loved. I'm very proud of you. And Charlie would be, I think Charlie's just, I'm trying not to say that he's obviously celebrating in heaven amongst so many things, but he's so proud of all of you. And he's so proud of all of you for keeping this mission alive. And he knows that you can do it. That's why you're hired. And he knows that you will be able to carry the torch. And he knows that you're going to do a great job. And you're going to be able to, even though days are going to be tough, honestly, the nights are the hardest. Mornings are pretty raw too. But just what I've noticed these past several days is if I didn't have the family, the Turning Point USA family with me, all of you, I would be a disaster. I would be in fetal position 24/7. But the fact that we have a continued mission to look forward to, and we have our family, it's everything. And some of you, this is your chosen family. And just rely and lean on each other. That's huge. Leaning on each other is huge, because all of you were together prior to this and we'll be together after this. And everything, and I told Justin this, it's going to be something where everything before September 10th, any email you were working on, any project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. It's just things have changed, obviously. And the mission has gotten deeper, and the mission will grow deeper. But I just want all of you to know, we will be wise stewards. We will be vigilant. We will be humble. And I just want you to know that, again, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well, that this whole world knows what his vision was and will be. And it's just, I feel so blessed.
Man. Interesting stuff. There was a clause. Okay, a lot of people don't know. 8,000 in the chat. 8,000 in the chat. Give it up for DJ. I know Black Poppy. Ha 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 ha. He. That's all my wife hears. That's all my wife hears in the other room. She's like, what's going on? There was a clause, okay? When she said that, everybody's going to keep their job. And, the clause was, if you listen to Candace Owens, you're getting fired. She didn't say it. It's kind of in the fine print, but that was definitely just in the small writing. You had to look close when she said it. You didn't see it on the screen. It was very, very small writing. That if you listen to Candace Owens, you're 100% getting fired. We're going to come to your house and take your computer, your work computer, of course. And if you don't let us in, we're going to force our way in. Which didn't happen. That was the clause, though. So for those of you that decided to listen to Candace Owens, you're done. Okay, just putting it out there. You're finished. We're very sorry you chose to do that. We're not going to tell you how we found your watch history on YouTube, but we did, and we saw it, so we got to let you go. Sorry. We're going in a different direction. Man, the whole different direction thing, I really don't like that, because I really don't listen. If you have to work, everybody has to work. When I was working the jobs that I was working, I despised people doing stuff like that, because what's at stake. The person goes home and they're worried and they have no money and now they have to find a job and there's bills. And I always thought to myself, like, it's crazy that people just do that to other people. I know it's business. You have to, you got to do what you got to do in business. And sometimes you got to do what you're told if you're supposed to fire somebody. But man, oh man, what it can do to people is just wild. So we're over here. We're going to jump over here. Is this the end of this one? Let's see.
In honor.
Look at Candace. Candace is done. She's not even looking at the screen. Candace is not even looking at the screen. Let's keep going with the call. There's more to it, of course.
And we will do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be, this massive thing. And it is. And that's why we have to stay humble. But, I just want you guys to stay in prayer. And if you guys do need anything, please reach out to whoever you know to reach out to. And pray with one another, be there with one another, be soft with one another. Everyone grieves differently. So if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people. Just anyone who's been married knows that. And so don't read into that. Just love on each other. And if there's anything or anyone who tries to divide your team or you, or that's just the enemy, and just rebuke it and know that there's a bigger mission at hand. And again, you guys are all very loved, and I feel very honored, and I'm grateful for all of you. So I just wanted to take some time to hop on and share with you my condolences. I wish I could help all of you. But again, the fact that there's a lot of them in the office on today, the fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what he would. With the mission, he doesn't want you to just be sitting on the couch alone in your room. He wants you to, obviously, we will all mourn, but he would want you to build. And so that's what we'll do. We'll have the sword in one hand, and we'll have the hammer in the other, so to build. Okay? I love you all. Deep breaths. Usha, I just want to share this with you all. I asked her when we were on the tarmac. I said, I don't know how to get through this. And she said, when you're on an airplane, and some of you have kids will really relate to this. Others that don't, you've been on a plane with kids, so you can also relate to this. But she said, when you're on an airplane and you're 15 minutes before landing and the kids are going crazy and you have 15 minutes left on the plane and they're throwing their toys and they're screaming and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And the next 15 minutes after. And so I just want to share that with you because it was a very private moment. But it gave me some peace to know that we can just do this 15 minutes at a time. So if that means at work when you're feeling a little bit stop, take those 15 minutes and you'll be okay. We're all going to be okay. I love you guys.
She's not crying. Isn't that weird? You know, I felt bad calling it out when everybody was first calling it out, right? I mean, a lot of you guys were calling it out way before me or Candace was. Way before. You guys were right away. Some people were just like right away, like, no, this is a no, this lady. There's no tears. There's no tears. I don't know. It's pretty weird. You know? Like a dry tissue. There's no tears. It's very weird. I don't know.
Have a great meeting. Is there anything else to do? So you guys are loved. Love this little film on the birds. It's so cute.
You know, it's interesting. She's like, is there anything else you guys need to the other person who's there? Somebody said her name in the chat. Is it Susan? Is it Susan, her name? Someone said her name. The people are framing her to be a handler of sorts. I don't know if that's true because I don't even know what her name is. So I couldn't possibly tell you guys that she's a handler. But somebody was saying her name. I think her name's Susan. So this person's in the background while she's talking and kind of being like, you know, like Erika has to check and see, is there anything else? You know, it kind of speaks towards, I know we're looking at the manipulation aspect. There's also the aspect of her not being a person who is actually running things. Stacy, thank you. Stacy. Yes, I'm seeing it. Stacy Sheridan. Yes, that person. So that person's in the background. That's who she's talking to there. There's no other person it could be. That person was with her in the car. That person always seems to be right next to her. And you know, I can't help but think it could be like a Get Out thing. You know, you remember like the movie Get Out? That lady would have the coffee cup and she'd be like, and then she'd go ding, ding, ding. And then the black guy would be like, I feel like it's that kind of situation. I really do. I really do. I think it's that type of thing. But let's keep going here. Ha 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 says in the caption there.
So sweet. God bless you all.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share that with you because I fully side with the employees, what they have lived through, everything that's happened, to have them admit that they work 20-hour days, to see how they were manipulated into doing that, and then having the carpet pulled under their feet and told goodbye. And God forbid you want to speak out about what you've lived through, then you're somehow like, it's a cult. That's a cult, to be clear. That's just a cult. You're with us or you're against us. And these people were not against them. They were loyal employees. Okay. They were loyal employees. And they said that they felt like they were being emotionally manipulated, think that they had to just work harder, even beyond the 20-hour days they're working during the weekday. They were then asked to come in on the weekend to pack t-shirts because it's what Charlie would want. And I kept picking up on that beyond these calls. I kept saying, why does it feel like they're using the ghost of Charlie to sort of guilt people into doing things? Like, well, this is what Charlie would want. He'd want your money. This is what Charlie would want. He would want your kid's college fund. This is what Charlie would want. He wants grandma's will. This is what Charlie's dancing. He's dancing in heaven. He is, I don't want to say the word happy. Maybe he's not happy. He just got assassinated. Maybe he's not happy that he's never going to see his children again or put into bed, but he is dancing unhappily or something. What?
See, that's the thing. That's why I bring up so often, because that is the reason why. Candace is asking, why is that happening? Why are people doing that? Well, that's why. Because they're trying to connect their movement and what they need from their workers, right? And this same thing happens in politics as well, right? Except, you know, where I just said workers, you would say voters, right? They try to ignite you through certain situations, and really rile you up. You know, that's why, and it's funny because Candace called this out years ago. She was like, look, every 4 years, they do something that has to do with black versus white. She's like, every 4 years, she's like, if you watch closely, as soon as election time comes, things start happening. Weird things start happening that rile up both sides, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people to really dig their feet into the sand. So they say, this is my side and I'm ready to go. I'm here. Use me. I'm a vessel now. Come on, let's go. That's the type of thing that they're constantly doing. And that's what Turning Point, in my opinion, it seems like that's what they're doing with their workers there. If you bring up Charlie all the time, and, you know, again, this is soon, just after he passed away. So yeah, you're going to bring Charlie up a bit. But as you bring him up and you connect him to work, you connect him to what you're doing, you connect him to listening closely, you say, write down all the personal conversations you had with him. Tell your kids and your family about those conversations. They are trying to ignite some kind of Messiah in him. And what do people do with the Messiah? They follow them closely. They get to a point where they're willing to do anything, work any amount of time, which is why that lady who got fired was like, I've worked 80-hour weeks. What? Why? I mean, I get it. You know, sometimes you work 80-hour weeks. I mean, sometimes I work 80 hours. I understand. But still, it's a wild thing to do. And the reason that they were able to do it is because this crazy thing happened. And then all of a sudden, they felt like they had to do it. That was the whole thing Candace was talking about when she was like, oh, you can take paid leave. Look into that. You can take leave, but we're full steam ahead. That's the thing. It's like, I'm his wife. I should be down bad worse than anybody. But hey, listen, I'm good. But if you're not, go ahead. Right? I remember I brought it up yesterday. It was like when my dad passed away. They're like, oh, take as much time as you need. But what they really meant was like 3 days. No, take as much time as you need. But if it's like more than 5 days, we have to replace you. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. So you feel like, oh, I guess I can do this, but I actually can't. So you're just saying a thing to make me feel like you're there with me, like your family, but in actuality, you're not. And this is still just a work relationship. I'm just being tricked. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me. I'm a little biased when it comes to, I've had bad work experiences, as you can tell, you know? I'm sure you can tell by the stories I'm telling you here. But let's jump into the last clip right here.
They're trying to control you, and it's very sinister. And I could not stay silent with them trying to pull that move on Brett Cooper. Like, I'm good. Okay, my kids will be proud of me one day. I'm good. Jeannie Thompson writes, Erika kept referring to Charlie as still directing Turning Point USA rather than acknowledging that Turning Point USA is an organization established and led by God. That is a cult. Yes, I agree with you. It's very... something about all of it, even keeping the mic and putting it in a cage and setting up his dinner at a fundraiser, there's something that feels like a seance to me. And we couldn't control him when he was alive, but we can control him now that he's dead. And we can control you and tell you what he would have wanted. How can you debate that? This is what he would have wanted. He's dancing in heaven. How can you debate that? And if you do debate that, well, sorry, guys, because now his widow is saying that. So how dare you? That there's something about that I really don't like. And that something is all of it. I like none of it, actually. Ms. Mint Juleps writes, keep it going, Team Candace. Take it to the...
So, that right there. Yeah, they're trying to control you. You know, it's funny because she says that about Charlie, and that's what Daily Wire is doing with her. As they use her, all they have is her former show, but they're using that as a form of saying, you know, you may be, you know, she's not actually gone, but you may be gone to us here at Daily Wire, but we still own this spirit of you, this avatar of you, and we're going to make it move around. We're going to do the whole dance, and you're going to do what we say in this little shape. It's still going to post, it's still going to show things, and these things that it's going to show is actually going to mock you, you know? So they're doing the same thing with Candace in a way that they can. Now with Charlie, they can do it way more. And yes, 9,000 in the chat, 100%. Hi, no black puppy. I'm laughing like Erika over here. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm laughing like Erika over here. My bad. Just happy as clams. You know what I mean? It's so yeah, they're doing that with Charlie in a really big way, in a really, really big way. And they have the ability to. They have his wife, they have his friends. They're the people who get to say this is how he felt. You know, we play the Megyn Kelly interview, we play the interview with Ben Shapiro, we show the group texts, that he released, what he was doing, what he was shifting to. It was clearly obvious. But because they were so close, they're able to just say, no, that's all nonsense. That's all nonsense. I mean, even the group chat, Josh Hammer was like, he was joking. He was joking. Sorry. It's like, you know, they do have him in a weird sense. And I do think that there is a spirit seance aspect to it. I really do. They kind of, because a lot of times in the occult, and I've done many videos on this, they do try to summon things from this unseen realm, right? And it's usually things of darkness, but you could unknowingly tie yourself to something that's dark through the symbolic belief manipulation. And you can feel like that thing is absolutely amazing. You can feel like it's doing great things in your life. It may even produce good material and finance in your life, but it's actually something dark that you've connected yourself to. And these people are real, and they really do summon things. That is a real thing. A lot of people think it's hocus pocus and it's nonsense and it's just what they believe, but it's not just what they believe. It's actually what they do. They practice this, and there have been real results throughout history when people do this kind of thing. So are they doing that with Charlie right now? In a sense, I think so. I mean, Candace even brought it up, the microphone in a cage, right? The last thing that he touched. This is very occult type of thing. Set up the place where he passed away. Set that up. Put his picture in the center. Put the last thing he touched in a cage, in a box. Take his chair of his podcast. Allow no one else to sit in that chair. Leave that chair present so everyone can see. These are things, you know, suspicion, right? There's a whole suspicion when someone passes away. They pass away in a house, or, you know, some people just do it in general when one of their loved ones passed away, that you cover all the mirrors in a house, because some people believe if the person's walking around in the afterlife because they're transitioning and they haven't fully accepted it, they may see a mirror and get sucked into that mirror. Right? It sounds silly, but there is an element of occult to that, right? And they do it because they want to make sure that person goes up to heaven. They want to make sure they ascend like Mikey McCoy and not just stay in this material world as a disembodied spirit. And I know we're getting a little deep there, a little weird there. It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird from time to time, guys. Masonic ritual. Yeah, exactly. It's like a Masonic ritual. It really, really is. What happened with him? And again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, prove it. Well, it's like you can only prove it through the symbolism. You know, when they say Tyler Robinson, 33 hours, we caught him in 33 hours. It wasn't even 33 hours. It was like 35 or something like that. But they round it down to 33. Okay. Or it's 32 and they round it up to 30. Like, why? That's weird. You know, I see you in Valhalla. Like, all these things are little clues, right? And then when you get into, you know, if you want to start getting into hand symbols, you want to start getting into more of numerology and things of that nature. These are all things that they use. They don't just outright say these things, but they show you. Again, bringing up the tent. The tent is a big way of showing you, right? That's a really big way of showing you. The way that they handled his memorial, right? That was a big way of showing you. There was a rapper, XXXTentacion, who was evil himself, okay? Someone said, I'm becoming the goat. No, goats get sacrificed. That's why they call people the goat. That's why they call people in Hollywood the goats, because the goats get sacrificed. The lambs are protected by God. Yeah, don't forget that. There was a rapper, XXXTentacion. He even said that he was demonic. He was a very dark kid. But when he had his memorial, it was wild. It was crazy. There was thousands of people. But the thing that they were centered around was him, his body. That's where people came to see, just to look and get the closure that he's gone. That was the focus. Now, as dark as that kid and his life, and it may have been, if you don't know him, you can look him up. He's passed away now. I think he passed away at like 20 years old. He was a musical genius. He was becoming a musical genius, I should say. He was going to be right up there with the best of them. He could sing. He could do everything. But the focus was his body. If you look at Charlie's memorial, the focus was not the body. Focus was everything else. It was a lot of pyrotechnics, right? As everybody knows, it was a lot of grandiose imagery. It was a lot of big names. I always bring it up because it was the most crazy thing. There's a guy who's carrying a cross in a suit. I forget who this guy was, but he wasn't even dragging the cross. The cross had wheels at the bottom, so he's just moving this cross along. It's like so anti what it's supposed to represent when you do it like that. You know what I mean? But look at the focus. The focus was something else completely. It was barely him. I don't know. So you really got to look at that, right? When you're talking about numerology and whatnot. Just to jump into this really quick. So Candace did talk about Jeremy Boring. I just have to say, and I'll make this quick. When it comes to these guys, I don't know how you feel about these guys. Some people like these guys. 33 is a dog whistle. Yes, it certainly is. 100%. Yeah, well said. Yes, 33 is like a dog whistle. When you hear that, it's like, when we hear it, we go, oh, what's going on? You know something? Maybe I'll show it to you guys at the end in regards to that number. Oh, man. You know what happened with the ICE agent? With the first person where the car kind of hit him and everything? It's wild. It was like on 33rd Street and this 33 and the house behind him was 33. And it was crazy how much. And it really makes you think about that whole thing more. Someone remind me. Let me just write this down. Oh, there. I'll just write it down like this so I remember. Put a star on this thing. Okay. I'll remember. It's really crazy. But when we talk about Jeremy Boring, right? There is no reason for this guy to be on this podcast. Oh, there's no reason for this guy here to be on this podcast with these two. There's no reason other than he's being reignited. His brand is being reactivated so he can go at Candace Owens. That's exactly what we're seeing here. 100%. That is what we're seeing. That's why he's there. There's no other reason for it. He's not interesting. He's not fun to talk to. He's not a good storyteller. Right? He's not influential. Right? The only thing he has is that he can say hiring Candace Owens was the greatest mistake he's ever made in his life. That's basically what he has to say. Right? And he talks about her. We saw the episode. He talks about her being like nuclear energy. And, he talks about, she could destroy things or she could be used for good. She's using what she's doing for evil, et cetera, et cetera. He starts talking about pornography. He starts comparing her to that, which is just wild. But again, that's part of the manipulation that goes on. It's like, let us align this person who we're trying to make seem terrible. Let's align them with the worst of what society has to offer. Right? That's why when he says Candace Owens is very talented, they keep a straight face. But when he compares her to pornography, all of a sudden, they start laughing. They're smiling. They agree with that. I watch a lot of Joe Rogan, as a lot of you know. And anytime these guys were on, I was always like, this is a great episode. But these guys have really shown themselves. They've shown themselves quicker than Ben Shapiro, but in the same way. In my opinion. I know some people like Constantine. Is that his name? Constantine Kissin? Francis here. I know a lot of people like these guys. I think they've shown themselves. I think they're just like Ben Shapiro. They will act like everything is just impartial and we're just having discussions here. But in reality, they have a very stiff agenda and they have a very hardcore loyalty to another place other than their country, which would be the UK for these guys. They're more loyal to another place. Philadelphia, right? That's what they're most loyal to. They're not really loyal to their country, and they're not really loyal to free speech, as they say. That's just my thinking. So when you have this guy on to just talk about Candace, you're just running a smear campaign. That's all you're doing. And if your platform becomes that, to where you're just running smear campaigns for the sake of it, okay. But, you're Joe Scarborough now. You're Joe Scarborough and you're Mika. I don't make the rules, guys. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So that's what I think of these two. That's what I think about this whole little production. I mean, this guy even went as far as to say that people who listen to Candace Owens are not to be taken seriously. They can't be taken seriously. You can't listen to those type of people. You know what it sounds like? And I've said this before. Sounds like Candace 19. That's what it sounds like to me when they start talking like this. It's the same type of rhetoric. It's the same type of thing. And it starts off light and it starts getting real heavy. Jesus died at 33. Yes, he did. It starts getting real heavy eventually. Tim Pool took it to that place. These guys will slowly take it to that place. Jeremy Boring has no problem taking it to that place. And he's trying to slowly, ever so slowly. Why are there so many tissues in my pocket? Okay. It was annoying me. I was like, what's going on? He's like, is this another roll? Did I put on another roll? So yeah, that's what I think about this whole communication. And one thing that Candace said that is so true, and I've said this so many times when I have friends, my Philadelphia friends, when we talk, because get this, my Philadelphian friends, okay, they loved Candace more than I did. I was like, yeah, I know about Candace. Yeah, they'd be like, bro, she's going to be president. She needs to be president. She's the absolute greatest thing. She's amazing. She's beautiful. And the second she started talking about things that were outside of BLM and black people, they were like, no, she's terrible. She's terrible. She's actually dumb. She's actually not that smart. She's not that pretty. One of my friends was like, I want to marry her. And then all of a sudden he's like, man, she's actually not that smart. I don't know. I would never talk to somebody like that. I was like, what? I'm like, you know, I know you. I can see you. You know, I can hear your voice. You think I have a goldfish memory? What do you think's going on? Trying to gaslight me, man. He was. You know, they told me about her more than anything, more than anybody. And one thing that she brought up, and many people have, is that when she was talking about black people, it was all good for the Daily Wire, right? I'm not somebody who makes things about race, but it's a glaring, obvious thing is that when she was talking about them, when she was talking about BLM, when she was pushing that narrative forward that would have people dig their heels in the sand, like I just told you in regards to manipulation, dig their heels in the sand and get them on one side and stay on one side. When she was doing that for them, it was completely okay. It was awarded. It was applause. As soon as she moved away and started talking about Philadelphia, as soon as she started talking about all that stuff, then all of a sudden it became a big problem. And it's unfair. And that's something that Ye would talk about too. Ye would talk about that all the time. Ye would talk about that in regards to music. He would be like, I can't make this song, you know, that wild song he made, but he's like, I can make a song talking about killing my own people and doing my own community dirty and doing terrible things to my community. He goes, why is that? He goes, why isn't there the same uproar when it comes to my community? But when it comes to another community, there is. You know, same thing happened with Candace. It's a wild thing. But either way, when this guy appears, he has nothing but an agenda to push. And you'll always know when you listen to a podcast, because you go through the timestamps here, they talk about a bunch of different things. And in fact, when they're talking about Candace, all they're talking about is the timestamp is the Civil War on the right. But that becomes dedicated to Candace. You know, they talk about charisma. That becomes dedicated to Candace. They talk about, things about being angry. They talk about J.D. Vance. All of these things, you can tell. Whenever I learned this from watching Joe Rogan, you watch something long enough, you can see what the agenda is. You can actually see it. You know, you hear this guy, the first thing he's talking about, and the thing that he talks about the most negatively with the most passion is Candace. So obviously, that's why they're there. And these guys are also dedicated to that. They don't like to seem like it because they're very much like the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire was all about free speech. The Daily Wire was like, we are dedicated to it. When it came to Candace, they're like, we're not going to fire her because we're about free speech. We're not doing that. Everybody can say what they want to say. That's what those guys, trigonometry, that's what their dedication was. And slowly you're starting to see that that's actually not true. That's actually not where they're at. There actually is an agenda that they're pushing. And again, in the wise words of Joe Rogan, you can BS somebody in a podcast. From hour 1, you can BS them in hour 2, but when you get into hour 3 and hour 4, the mask starts to slip and who they are really starts to show. And a lot of these creators are in their hour 3 of their life career podcast analogy. They're in hour 3, the mask is starting to slip, and what they're about is becoming very, very, very apparent. And that is my Baron Coleman opening statements. I should have did that at the beginning. That would have been a good opening statement, no? Come on, man. When I first saw Barron doing the opening statements, good segue, by the way, because, you know, we're going to watch a little Barron right now. When I first saw him doing an opening statement, I was like, oh, this guy's serious. I was like, whoa, this guy has an opening statement. I don't even know what that is. I was like, whoa, what's about to happen right now? You know, he's very serious. And then I talked to him. He's like, I rate it for 8 hours, 5 to 8 hours. I was like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. Crazy dedication Barron has, man. Crazy dedication he has. And then you figure out he's been in broadcasting for like 15 years. I was like, wow, I get it now. I get it. I get why he's doing what he's doing, and he's doing it so well. Be like, seriously, kudos to Uncle Barron. Uncle Barron doing his thing. Thanks for giving me this push to do live streams. I'm much happier doing this. And a lot of people think it's because of the money with the live streams. It's pretty much the same, except I just do it for 2 extra hours. So instead of putting out like 6 hours of content a week, I put out like 15, like a lot more. More than 16. I don't know, something like that. So it's actually not the money. I like communicating with you guys. I like that there's a chat going and that there's people talking and that they're all connecting. Barron, approved opening statement. Oh man, thank you for watching, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for that contribution, sir. Oh man. But yeah, let's get into this because I did not see this coming. And this speaks to and aligns with Brian Harpole, the man, the mint, the legend. I just need some mints, y'all. Oh, I got this girl, Angel. She gives me mints, and then, you know, she has a son named Angel and a husband named Angel, and they're all just angels, and they just hand me mints, okay? It has nothing to do with a detonator or anything like that. That's not what we got going on. We just got mints, okay? We all got the same tattoo, and this tattoo is of a mint, you understand? Because that's where it all started with us. Fresh breath in Christ, you understand? It's a mint with a cross on it, okay? But this aligns with Brian Harpole not making any preparations in regards to security the day after Charlie passed. Brian Harpole said that he takes 2 weeks. He takes 2 weeks to actually put together. He said to Sean Ryan, it's weeks. They prep weeks ahead for events. So UVU would have been prepped, and that would have been done weeks ago. And if there's a thing the next day, which there was, that would have been prepped weeks ago. But there was nothing. There was no security ready because when they had the second event turned into a memorial, right? And I believe it was the police chief, he was shocked because he's like, why is there no security ready? Like, we're turning this into a memorial, a candlelight vigil, and there's no security plan in place at all. He was shocked. So he put something in place himself. He made sure to get that done. And I think Turning Point kind of caught up with him, I think. Why was there nothing planned ahead of time? They would have been like, oh, well, we have our guys already coming. We already have planned to have 8 guys there. So you don't even have to worry about it. We're going to set it off. Don't worry. We're good. You would have thought that's what would have happened. But no, that's not what they did. They had nothing planned. And it turns out the people who had the event going didn't have anything planned either. I say the event going, you know, not proper English, okay? But you know what I mean. And you will know what I mean after we play this. Listen up.
Jeff, who does our social media, came in and he's like, hey, I just saw on Twitter that Charlie's been shot. Obviously, we're like, oh, is that real? We knew that he was on tour, so we support their tours. He does an outside, if you see the tours that Charlie was doing, and they're still continuing to do it, the outside event that what you see on TikTok or social media that he's interacting with all the kids from the college happens during the day. And then at night, he would go into an auditorium, gymnasium at the college, and he would do a night event, which is more traditional, where he's kind of talking to the crowd. He's interviewing other influencers. So we cover all their night events. So we've got a crew out right now on that tour. We were not at that one. We didn't have any Mosaic staff at that one. That was tour stop number 1. We were going to join on tour stop number 2.
Why was there no night event on tour stop number 1? I honestly doubted the man when he said that. I looked and I thought, surely that can't be right. There had to be, because this is a college tour stop, right? This has to be something that's pretty consistent across time. If you're going to do a day event and then a night event, then you should have that be the setup from day one. Why would you do a day event only on the first tour stop if every other one was supposed to be a day and a night event? And if you don't understand what he was saying, here's what he was saying. He was saying what they typically do, and I have evidence of that. I'm going to pull it up in a second. What they typically do is they have a day event. That's the under the tent event where he interacts with students and he gets a line of people up there. You've seen these. We played past events in the past to compare Dan Flood, frankly, doing this in the past. But there'll be a line of students, and they'll be talking to him and asking him questions. They'll be talking about his faith. They'll be talking about politics. They'll be talking about foreign policy, maybe tax policy. And Charlie Kirk would go back and forth with them, and he would spend a few minutes with each of them. This is what we're used to seeing. But what this guy was saying was they didn't work on that. TPUSA took care of the audio and video on those events. The ones they worked on were the night events, and that's when they would bring in the dignitaries. They're not going to bring in a dignitary to sit under a tent for 2 hours. They would bring in a dignitary to sit in an auditorium or a gymnasium. And it's warm and it's climate controlled and it's controlled access. You can put magnetometers, you can do searches. And I've got evidence that that is how they were planning the tour. Here is the American Comeback Tour website as it appears on the Wayback Machine September 7th, 3 days before Charlie Kirk passed away.
Barron in the Wayback Machine like Brian Harpole. Brian Harpole would be proud of a man that just jumps in the Wayback Machine the way Barron does all the time. Just don't take it back too far, Barron. You take it back to like 1982 or something like that. Brian Harpole is surely to punch you in the lip. You got to be careful. Just be careful playing around in that machine, sir.
You'll notice as we scroll, we will see a number of events. The first event is right here, Utah Valley University Prove Me Wrong table. 3 hours, 3 days, 13 hours, 28 minutes, and 50-something seconds after this screen capture. And there it is right there, September 10th, Utah Valley University Prove Me Wrong table. There's no night event. That's the only item on September 10th. If you go to the next one, September 18th, there is the Colorado State University Prove Me Wrong table. And there's an evening event, the Colorado State University evening event on September 18th. Well, maybe that's just an anomaly. So we go to September 22nd, the University of Minnesota Twin Cities Prove Me Wrong table.
Barron is the new Columbo. He is the new Columbo. You know? So there's no morning event, and that's fine. There's no evening event. Sorry, I misspoke there. Apologize. But just one more thing. I look at December 18th, and I see an evening event. Farnsworth and that guy just starts sweating. He's the new Columbo. That's it. Put it in the chat. Let him know. He is now the new Columbo.
And then we have a University of Minnesota Twin Cities evening event the same night. Well, surely this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe that's not the normal course. No, we go to Virginia Tech, Prove Me Wrong table, September 24th. And then we have a Virginia Tech evening event, September 24th. This is the way it was structured. This is how the tour normally worked. I don't know why there wasn't an evening event on the first night. I just thought it was a little bit of an anomaly when he said it. I heard that and I thought, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's more to it than that. But it doesn't appear there was.
Interesting. Very interesting. Again, it goes right along with there not being any security ready for the next day's events. They just weren't prepared for the 11th. They just weren't prepared, as Barron's showing, for the evening. Why? Why weren't they ready for that? It's very weird. You know, those somebody said in the chat yesterday, like those audio video guys, nobody's talking to them. Nobody's interviewing them. You know, Candace went after Terriel, or whatever his name is, Terrell Farnsworth. And that's basically it. But he had two guys with him. There were two guys who were manning the microphones. One of those guys, or, you know, Terry himself, put that microphone on Charlie. I mean, you know, Not to say anything about the microphone. I'm just saying, you know, they did that, you know, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Why weren't they prepared? Why weren't they prepared? Somebody just said something that is absolutely crazy in the chat, and this is something worth actually correcting here. Somebody said, "What is Baron's channel?" And you don't know Baron. Okay, so that's weird. Okay, just this is Baron. This is Baron's channel. Just so you know. That is the channel. Go check it out. Just write his name in there and you will find him. He is a good watch. Thank you so much, Baron, for everything. Definitely should be subscribed to this gentleman. Put him over 200,000. He is going for it, ladies and gentlemen. He's going for it. He needs your help if you haven't already. Definitely worth it. I guarantee you will have a good time watching his lives. I know I do. I'm watching him now in the gym when I'm working out. So, you know, after Candace, I'm the pre-show. I'm the pre-show. DJ, I know Black Poppy. That's me, right? And then all of a sudden, you get Candace, and then you get Baron, right? Sometimes you get Ian mixed in there too. Have a good fun time at night, you know? They're the night boys. They're the night shift. They run in. They're the night shift. I'm the morning shift. Just gunk in my eyes, you know, just woke up. You know how it is. Coffee right here. The mug says Papa Bear, you know. But anyway, let's jump into this. Now, one person, and this is another thing that Baron said. And then I found somebody actually made a little meme. I don't think it was directly based on what Baron said, but I think they caught on to the same thing. So I'll play this and then we'll talk about it.
Life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
So just that was actually pretty funny that they did that. Turning Point 2.0. Now, here's what Baron said, which I found very interesting, is that 2.0 is a planned and scheduled upgrade. I found that, you know, some people may not look into that all that much, but I when he said that, I was like, yeah, that's true. That is a planned and scheduled thing. When we're talking about 2.0, 3.0, that's planned. You plan that. You don't stumble into 2.0. 2.0 is not a random occurrence. Neither is 3.0 or 4.0. These are planned escalations in whatever you're doing. And it's when you get better. That's also a thing. It's when you get better. And now they're at Turning Point 2.0. So they've just gotten better. And the event that made them better was Charlie going away. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, I guess. Let's jump in here. What else do we got right now? Now, I don't know what we're going to see from Candace today. It is what, Thursday? It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. We're also going to see another show from her in regards to a Friday show. She said because she missed Monday, she's going to do Friday. So I can't wait for that. So my Saturday video, I'm not going to be able to go live because I have so much to do with the in-laws and baby and all that stuff. But my morning video for Saturday will definitely be a whole breakdown. Maybe we'll go a little longer. Maybe we'll satiate the people out there who are like, I want the 30-minute videos back. Maybe there will be a little satiation for those people. They will feel seen on Saturday morning. Or maybe I'll do like an hour-long video. We'll see. Either way. But I can't wait to see what else she has, what else she talks about past the Erika Kirk thing. Maybe she'll go hard on Erika Kirk all week. That is a possibility. So please get ready for that. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we will see. Also, is there swearing in this? I don't know. Right? Yeah, there's going to be a couple of swear words. I don't like playing swear words, man. I really don't. But I liked what Dave had to say here. maybe I'll play a little bit of it, This is Tim Pool. He's just getting real cringe, I just couldn't pass up, the opportunity to talk about Tim being so cringe. Listen to this.
Tim's a bootlicker for defending us. I'm like, no, you misunderstand. It's my boots. It's mine. I'm wearing the boot. I'm stomping on the ground.
Tim, brother, this is the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is the gayest, cringiest shit I've
Oh my gosh.
ever seen. You are an 8-year-old boy playing with action figures right now, but you're an adult broadcasting this to hundreds of thousands of people. Like, this is just so goddamn, I mean, I don't know. Like, dude, this has crossed the line of, like, it's not even in political commentary anymore. You're like in some type of fetish right now. You're wearing the boot. I'm wearing the boot and I'm crushing everybody. I crushed you and I crushed you. Like, Tim, what the fuck?
I found that so amazing that Dave just went in on him like that, because Tim is just yelling about being the one wearing the boots. And, it's just, listen, you support ICE. You support ICE. You can just say that, But he's like, I'm wearing the boot. I'm not a bootlicker. I have the boot on. And it's like, no, you don't. That's like someone being like, hey, man, you support the Lakers. I heard, like, when you're talking about the Lakers, you say we. Like, what's up with that, man? And you go, no, I'm actually LeBron James. I wear the jersey and I do the jump shots and I'm dunking on people. It's like, are you crazy? What are you talking about, man? You're at home on your couch, man. What are you talking about? I'm the one, actually. I hold the trophy and I won the game. Tim is just so cringy. Again, people being in their hour three as their masks fall. It's so nice to see. Yeah. What else we got here? We were going through Baron, went through Candace already. And let me see if I can pull up these super chats. I was supposed to do that and I didn't. I was supposed to pull them up so you guys could see them. Right? I like doing that. What do you guys think of doing that? Do you guys think it should be on the screen, or do you want it off the screen? Some people are like, you got to put it on the screen so we can see it. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then some people were like, no, absolutely not. We don't want to see all this stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? Of course you do. No, don't you? Anyway, let's jump over here. See, here's the thing with this. Why can't I see Barons? There's Barons. There's Barons, 100%. Baron right at the top here. Oh, it went away. Come on, let's go back. Let's find Barons. There it is. Boom. Baron, sir, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you here on the show, sir. Let's go here. Actually, you know what? I'm supposed to have the Candace Owens moment, right? I don't want to show anything too violent. But this is footage that developed from that guy, that dude Peretti, right? And this is the footage that has emerged of him. And it looks like it's from the same day, because he's wearing the exact same thing that happened that day, unless he just wears the same thing all the time.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Peretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition tech.
So I'm not going to show any of the violence or anything like that, but turns out, and this is why I compared it to like a George Floyd moment. When Candace first started calling out George Floyd, people were absolutely just disgusted that Candace would be saying these things about George Floyd. Somebody said, stereotype, you're late. You used a super chat to say stereotype, I'm late. How dare you? How dare you? I'll put it on the screen soon, though, because you're right. You're correct. But people were like up in arms that Candace would possibly say anything like that about that man, that angel of a man. I mean, they used to put George Floyd right up there with Mikey McCoy, right? Now the world has been corrected. We know Mikey McCoy is above all, right? And that is who we look to when we're looking into ourselves of how do we walk away from a situation. We look to Mikey McCoy and we say, please guide us. And he walks us away from whatever situation we're in. Praise be. But that guy didn't seem like the best guy. I'm just going to say it. He didn't seem like the best guy. Now, do you lose your life because you're not the best guy? No, that shouldn't happen. But it kind of gives you a little window into what this guy was doing. So it wasn't the first thing. So for some reason, also very weird, is that he kicks out a taillight, and that's not game over. I feel like if I kick out a taillight, I get arrested. I feel like if you do it too, you get arrested. For some reason, he didn't get taken away. They just kind of were like, you better stop. You better stop. And they just left him alone. Okay. Very weird. But it seems like he was running around. He's kicking out taillights. He's spitting on people. Again, not grounds to lose your life whatsoever. That is not right. It is not right. But it gives you a little more of a window into this guy, because the narrative, and narratives always change as time goes. You see something. This is why I always wait to report on things, because I know that whatever story we're seeing in 2 days, it's going to change. The story is going to change. 3 days. I think it's been 3-4 days. Now the story is all of a sudden a little not different, because still loss of life, bad. Shouldn't be loss of life in these situations. We should be preserving each other's lives. We should be using civility as much as we possibly can. But when you look at what that guy was doing, how he was being, a little weird. That's not the side of things that they were showing us before. Just like with George, they didn't show us the side of George. They didn't show us what was in his system. It took a while for people like Candace to start talking about what was in his system while that whole thing was happening. It took a while for that to surface, and a whole lot of damage to a lot of cities from everything that happened after he passed away. And again, loss of life, bad. But still, now that we know everything we know, that whole story is looking very different. And this story is going to look different as time goes on as well. So I know a lot of people, you just want your heels dug in the sand. I don't do that whole thing. I study Project Often. I know that there's a manipulation going on, which is why they show you certain things and they don't show you certain things. I'm sure there's somebody who's like celebrating with like an ice guy or hugging an ice guy. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's altercations where it doesn't go so badly. They show you the worst ones for a reason. And it's not to get you against ICE or anything like that. It's to make sure that you stay in line in a certain way. And when I say stay in line, I mean stay in your box. They want you to stay in your boxes. That's why when people seem to be coming together, they make sure to break them apart. It happens all the time. Candace, famous words, every 4 years. Look for every 4 years when midterms are coming and when election is coming. Look for the things that they do. You'll see them. Now that I've said it to you, you will see it over and over and over and over again. It's wild. Now, again, that's what we see with that guy, you know, not the greatest of people decides to kick and spit on people. Not quite the thing to do. Right. So I just wanted to put that out there. You know, when I look at Candace Owens, I have to do what she would do, and she would speak the truth about things. Right. And that's just something that's happened. Right. And again, I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. I get it. I understand completely. Some people are still really dug in, where it's like, you have to dig into what I'm digging into. We have to agree all the time. That is not the thing. And just so you know, I mean, for those of you that don't know, like Candace, the reason I cover her so much is because a lot of our politics align. A lot of our beliefs align, especially when it comes to the Black community, you know, conservatism, religion. A lot of our stuff aligns. So just so you know where I'm at with it. I'm not just covering her content because of Charlie Kirk and that whole thing. It's because I actually align with a lot of things that she says. And I don't know if she's going to cover that because it's a tough thing to cover. Baron said approved. Baron, I have been approved by Baron. Thank you so much, sir. Really, really appreciate you there. And thank you for everything. You've done a lot, sir. Somebody else says 7. Why is that going away? Why are they going away? They wouldn't want that other team to see and find out what is really set up. That's why never booked that night. That's what he's talking about in regards to the Charlie Kirk event. Yeah, 100%. I think you're right. I think you are 100% right there. They didn't want the other team to see and find out what was really set up. That's why they didn't book that evening event. Or what most people are thinking is that they knew that there was no point in setting up that, and here's the thing. Do I think they were like, they knew everything that was going on? No, but I think that they possibly were told by somebody, hey, yeah, no, we don't need an evening one. And he was probably like, what do you mean we don't need an evening one? We always do an evening one. And they were like, no, not this time. Don't worry about it. Thanks. I think that that's probably what happened. And it would be great to know who actually that person was that said, no, don't set it up. Don't worry about that. That would be a great thing to know. Ali changed my photo on here because you couldn't figure out if I was a boy or a girl. Yesterday, I sent Charlie's Angels meme on Instagram. Love the show. That's an amazing meme. Thank you so much for that, lady. I apologize. I couldn't figure it out because I was like, is it Ali? I was like, is it Ali or Ali? I'm sorry. Listen, terrible with names, as always. Smarty Pants dance. Erika saying Charlie Kirk would manifest himself is serious occult thinking. Even worse, saying he will do it as a reward for hard work. I would have to quit. Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. That type of thing right there. When you connect it to he is going to manifest, it's very dripping in occult. That is occult-like thinking. And it's odd to me. Because she's supposed to be this devout, I think she said she's a cradle Catholic and then became evangelical alongside Charlie. I guess that happened as she was entering into Liberty University and things of that nature. And then meeting Charlie, I think that's where that whole thing happened, where it started. But I don't know, man, when you connect it to that and you start saying it's going to be a reward for hard work, like you said, that is very much like occult thinking. People think it's just basic manipulation or it's just basically somebody being a liar, but there's something much deeper to it. I think there's something much deeper to what we're seeing. Again, I already said it. There's this odd thing where it's almost like they're summoning him, right? And in often they talk about summoning entities. In the occult, they talk about summoning entities. I touched on this, I think, yesterday. That's a real thing. I know a lot of people, you don't believe in it, and that's fine, and I understand why. And, I believe in, I don't believe in that, but I know people do it. I don't do it, but I know people do it. And I know that they have a lot of results. And I know that the government started looking into it too. And they also started looking into remote viewing. And they also started looking into Mortal Kombat Ultra. And they did so for 30 years. 30 years of no results? I doubt it. Probably had some results. And as we look into what I call the unholy mob, which is touching on what Smarty Pants was saying, that sounds like such a... And the excellent point from Smarty Pants here, Professor Smarty Pants, that old unholy mob, that's exactly what they're doing. They are trying to manipulate people in such a dark way because it's inverting what they're really about. And a lot of this, I understand so much now. I used to be one of these people, but not as much as what I've seen, but I understand why people dislike religion so much, because so much of it has been inverted by these type of things. And we don't realize that, right? Just you sitting with a book and reading a book and following things, that's much different than you going into this community and this community being ran by someone like Rob McCoy, and Rob McCoy trying to instruct you on why you shouldn't listen to Candace Owens and how it's against God and she's demonic. And now all of a sudden, if you listen to somebody, you're now, playing into this demonic thing when all the person's saying is like, I just want to figure out who killed my friend. They start using their sermons for their own agendas, and their own agendas are linked to this bigger thing behind them, and it's not Jesus. It's not God that I'm talking about when I say this bigger thing behind them. It's like a shadow church. You know how there's a shadow gov? It's like a shadow church. It's really, really weird, man. Really, really weird. But thank you so much for that comment. Thank you for anything that just sends me off on a tangent. I am here for it. You can also ask me about other things if you want with the super chats. Erika is so excited. Myra. Erika is so excited about all the new donors they received so quickly. I'd love to hear the leaked audio or footage of when they started losing a lot of them and the unfollow Erika trend. Oh, the unfollow Erika trend. So this is a very interesting thing that's happening. And it's pretty organic. A lot of people are trying to speculate that this is something that's being done maliciously. There's a trend that's happening right now, if you don't know, and it's called the unfollow Erika trend. Now, it's not really a trend. It's just something that's happening. And it's something that's happening because so many people are following her and they start looking into her and they start hearing her speak and they get turned off by it. And they're like, I'm done. I don't want to follow this person anymore. But it's happened to the tune of like, I think it's like at like 200,000 people so far that have just unfollowed her. Like a lot of people are unfollowing. And it's because the thing is, it's just public perception. Again, way before I was making a video about her, or Candace was talking about her, thousands, tens of thousands of you were like, I don't believe this girl. From the first speech, I remember seeing so many people saying to me, like, why aren't you talking about this woman? Why aren't you talking about this speech? Why aren't you looking into her? Why can't you see that she's an actor? So there were tens of thousands of people who felt this way. And now they're kind of done and they're starting to unfollow. And of course, people are going to try and link this to Candace and say it's because of Candace's podcast and it's because of people like me and Baron and et cetera, et cetera. And it's not. It's not. People have a way of sniffing out BS. You know, a lot of you guys are Columbos out there. You don't even realize it. You're natural Columbos. You know, you got good noses. A lot of you, because so many people, especially, you know, not to say like, you know, men versus women, but I found especially women were like, no, sis, not buying this. Like right away. I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, why are they like this? You know, I'm like, are they hating? But, you know, and not a blanket statement, but like women are naturally more supportive, especially of other women, especially of a woman whose husband just passed away. They're usually really supportive. So I was like, this is weird. I'm like, why are they all getting like this with her? Like, why are they all doing this with her? I found it so odd. But then as time went, I was like, this was mass woman intuition. That was at play. There was mass woman intuition that was happening. It was interesting. Just like Blake Lively, someone said. Yeah, exactly. Let me just look at this. Especially woman's intuition and discernment. Yeah, exactly. That's why, you know, I've said it before. Not that I don't like. I have Lance. I think Lance is amazing. You know, if I'm Joe Rogan, which I'm not, but Lance would be like Jamie, but like a cool Jamie. You know, if I was in studio, I would have him here, like 100%. I would do that. But having women around you in a company is very good. I think it's very good. I think they're very trustworthy. They like to see a guy or a man do well and do proper and have integrity, and they'll hold that up. Whereas a lot of men, not all men, like I don't think Lance is like this at all, but I've seen a lot of men, they get into a way where jealousy starts to form, resentment starts to form. And I noticed that happen less with women when you surround yourself with them. And again, not a blanket statement, but I've just noticed it less. I've noticed it a lot less. That's why my manager, YouTube manager, is a lady. You know, I kind of did that intentionally. You know, yeah. Lance, I'm going to make sure transitions to a lady. I don't know if you know about this, Lance. I'm expecting you to be a lady by the end of the month. So you have a few days on that. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Lance is a good guy. Really good guy. Has really been helping my mental health, honestly. Danny, stereotype confirmed. You're late. Yes, Danny, I was late. I know. And it's so, I mean, I'm sorry. I just had to. I was going to start and I'm like, I have to put lotion on. I have a wife now. My wife makes sure I got face lotion. I didn't even know. I thought lotion was just lotion. I thought you put it anywhere. She's like, no, there's lotion for your face. So I was like, I need the face lotion. And I needed it. And I needed the hand lotion. And I needed the little bit on my lips. Like I needed, you know, My wife keeps me groomed. She has me in this habit now. So I was like, I got to do this really quick. It was 9:59 and I'm like, I got to it was two stereotypes at work. One stereotype was like, you're going to be late. And the other stereotype was like, we need to put on lotion. And I was like, I'm going to embrace both stereotypes. Both stereotypes took over at the same time and I had to get lotioned up. I'm sorry. I apologize. And also I woke up, I didn't prepare anything. I don't sleep a lot. I've been getting 3 hours of sleep since I started doing this because I'm like there's like a learning curve for some things. And I was like, yesterday, I was like, I got to get 5 hours. Like even 5 hours is bad, but I was like, I didn't prep anything. I was like, I got to go to bed. I'm like, it's getting too much. I'm at the age where if you don't sleep enough, you're just gonna get sick, and I'm just trying to avoid that at all costs. My wife's sick right now. I can't get sick at the same time. It'll just be too much. We don't want the baby to get sick. It's just too much. Heather, shout out to Heather. I said everything I said to Heather yesterday. Is this the same Heather? I'm glad we can joke around. Morning coach, can't wait to hear your thoughts on these calls and your thoughts on Barron's opening statement last night. I think he's onto something with the 2.0 theory. Is that what I was just touching on? I didn't catch him at his opening statement. I caught him a little ways into it, I think. I think he was just finishing. Whitney Murphy. Oh, this is Whitney. Can I click on you? I can. Can I just make you a moderator? There we go. Boom. You're a mod now, Whitney. Boom. There you go. Thank you so much, Whitney. Whitney says, I know you mentioned moving to Kentucky or Tennessee. Choose Middle Tennessee. You'll fit right in with the podcasting greats, and Joel and I will show you the ropes. I'll be praying God lays it heavy on your heart. Well, we love Tennessee. I love Kentucky, though. When we're in Kentucky, I love Kentucky. And when I say I love it, I love the people, but I also just love the place and what it looks like. Tennessee was really great, though. Now, I forget where we were in Tennessee, but we stay at this certain hotel, and it's a beautiful hotel, and the area is real nice, and it's really close. Actually, the hotel is right next to these shops. It's like this ice cream place, and I forget what the restaurant's called. My wife would know what the restaurant's called. But whenever we go, we stay. It's like this little town square type of thing. There's a fire in the middle, and we just hang out there, and it's really nice. And yeah, I like that place a lot. I like that place a lot, honestly. And we're thinking where to put roots down for the baby, so the baby can start having friends. Because we don't want to. The last thing I want to do is have the baby at like 3 years old, 4 years old, have like a friend, and then we like leave. Ugh, I can't handle that. I couldn't handle doing that, Ivan is Ivan. Ivan is Ivan. Coffee with Coach in the morning. Middays with Trigger Smart. Queen Bee Candace afternoon drive. Sir Baron with dinner. Some Alley Files. OG Danks. B&B. That's Brittany and Billy, I think. I might be wrong about that. I'm sorry. No, Brandy and Billy, right? Sorry. B&B on the side. Gotta love it. Thank you so much. And yeah, there's great people doing their things, man. Definitely great people's doing their things. A whole bunch. Let me just make sure to heart you there. Thank you so much for checking out the live stream. Really appreciate you. Joel, what's going on? What is doodle-doodle-doo, Coach? Business idea. Coach Lotion. Make your own face and a head lotion. Maybe have your own line of baby oil for Peter Thiel parties. Let's go. No way. I can't do the baby oil. Diddy has that market. Like as soon as Diddy gets out, he's definitely gonna get the baby oil sponsor, Or maybe we can start it up and then I couldn't sponsor him. What is doodle-doodle? It's just what I do when the video starts. I do it because my time signature here, it stalls and doesn't move for some reason until I start talking, but I don't want what I have to say to be cut off. So I just start going doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle, and then for some reason it works. And then the next thing you know, I'm good to go. I don't know why that is. It's not just happens on doodle-doodle-doo. I could say, good morning, everybody. How are you today? But I just decided to say doodle-doodle-doo. And my kid does it too. Yeah, I don't know why. If I if I yell right now, if I go doodle-doodle-doodle-doo, my kid will be like doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. It's really nice. It's a nice little thing we have, you know. It's on our family crest now. Moira, wifey woke you up in time, but no time to change. Either way, glad to be here. Wifey woke you up. Wifey woke me up. No time to change. Oh no, I wanted to wear this. In fact, she didn't wash these sweaters for a while, and I was like, I need my big sweaters washed. I love wearing big, warm sweaters. I absolutely love it. Plus, the black shirt I usually wear, it's actually in the wash right now. So it's getting washed up. What's the problem? What does this look like, pajamas? This is not pajamas. I'm going to wear this out. I'm going to put a vest on over this. I'm going out. I'm going out like this. You got a problem? Going to a grocery store like this. Keith says Erika is heavy on the lies, light on the alibis. That's a good one. That's a solid one. Lemon curd sandwich says your missed opportuniments. Let's get mint to it. Thank you so much for the mintastic puns that you have there. Thank you very much. What is this? What am I supposed to say here? Rinket? I'm going to call you Rinket. That's what I'm going to call you. Morning, your streams are perfect for us in Europe. My go-to podcast after work. Stay minty fresh. Much love from the Balkans. Someone said that Baron's huge in the Balkans. Is he huge in the Balkans? Somebody from Sweden was telling me I'm huge in Sweden. And I was like, I certainly don't believe you. Right? If that's true, that would be magnificent because I would go out there and do live shows for sure. Because that would just be such a trip to be able to do that to the whitest possible crowd ever, you know? You know what I mean? You know? I would love that, but I don't believe her. I don't believe her. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll find out. The analytics don't lie. I'll be able to see it in the analytics. They'll tell me how many people from Sweden are watching. Humble and not morbid, but 300,000 new donors, 200,000 merch sales, 50,000 new hats, 100,000 new chapters, 275,000 attendees, 10,000 voters registered, 20,000 Turning Point members. Woo! Not morbid at all. You are 100% right, Pablo. That is not morbid. That's money. That's money. Hey, it ain't morbid to be about money. Lindsey Graham's coaching Erika. You got to just get that money. You understand? What they meant for evil, God meant for good. You got to get that money, girl. Okay? There's so much money in the world. I mean, you guys are at 9 figures now. Can I see some of your money, please? I just want to see some of your money. We're going to get you into politics, girl. You know how much money's in politics? One thing that Turning Point did that was good, they went dollar for dollar in some good cause. So everything that the current admin gathers up in terms of money, Turning Point is going to match dollar for dollar. That means they got a lot of money, which it's going to be hard for them to really ration out their case of like, Candace Owens is hurting our bottom line. We're also going dollar for dollar. So if the current administration racks up $500,000, $2 million, $4 million, we'll match it. We'll go bar for bar, band for band all day. You know, we're just making it rain over here. It's like, what? I thought your bottom line was hurt. It was. It would have been $1 billion if it wasn't for that Candace Owens. She's evil and demonic, you understand? Then Candace comes in the room. Hi, Erika. Hi. Hi, how are you? It's so good to see you. You know Andrew's the one that says bad things about you. Yeah, he takes too much liberties. He's really bad. Yeah. Okay, bye. Bye. I hate her. I hate her and Charlie hated her. Tell Dave Rubin to make me a story about Candace hating Charlie. Do it now. I'm kidding. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Dave doesn't answer to Erika. Dave answers to, Minton Yahoo. Minton Yahoo. Punch Bowl Puppy, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. I love that. That's so good. I didn't know that was the whole phrase. Fetty Slop says, don't you think the plant explosion in Tennessee is so important? Also, let's get into it. Sending some love from Taiwan. Really? Wow. Amazing. Yeah, that's the one that Baron and Ian were talking about. They were talking about this plant I can't remember the acronym, but I remember them talking about this plant and how there was a massive explosion. And then Ian was doing research into what they actually had at that plant. And it was actually like, you know, exploding mics, things of that nature. I don't know what you call that. Projectiles, things like that. And they can make different things into projectiles that would like burst, you know? And then after what happened to Charlie happened, I think it was after that whole plant blew up. And then somebody, man, I wish I could find it right now. Somebody was telling me that that plant has a bunch of different, and this is like allegedly, I'd have to look into this. I haven't had a chance, but they said they have a bunch of different offshoots of the same company that have the same name. And one of them has a large contract with Philadelphia. That's what the person was telling me. I haven't had a chance to look into it yet, but when I do, I will definitely let you guys know. Thank you for bringing that up and reminding me. I forget who sent that to me. No Black Poppy. No Black Poppy. Love it, Coach. Thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, that's so funny. Somebody was just like, I don't really like that joke. And I'm like, oh, like, why are you even telling me? Like, you're DMing me for that? I'm like, are you sure? That's not what this is for. You don't do that with comedians, okay? We'll just double down, So we're gonna be doubling down. That wasn't even supposed to be like an active part of the show. Now it's gonna be forever. That's what you just did. You're signing us up. You signed us up for like a turning point kind of contract here, where it's just gonna be forever. Shannon Brown said, "Coach, what's the end game here? Will Erika step down? And are turning point donations down? We all know TR didn't work alone. Oh, Tyler Robinson didn't work alone. How do we demand more?" Well, I mean, people have to not let it go. That's the only thing you can do. Can't really demand anything of Turning Point. Can't demand anything of the prosecution or the defense because they're already doing what they're supposed to do. There's supposed to be a case, right? And there's supposed to be a trial, and there's supposed to be all this evidence brought into the trial, and they're both going to make their claims. Like that's the main thing that has to be focused on. I don't know what you could do past that. Now, will Erika step down as CEO? If she does, I don't think it'll be soon. I don't think so. I feel like it'd be next year if she did. But I here's the thing. It'll either be next year because of just, random reasons, whatever they come up with, or it will end up being because she's stepping into politics. As she steps into politics, she'll have to step away from that position. I feel like that's what Charlie would have had to do too. It's too much of a conflict of interest to have control of this big political machine and then also be running. If she runs, which again, Mikey McCoy and Frank Turek have brought up how great it would be and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think they bring things up like that just randomly. I think they bring things up like that as a pre-programming type of thing to get people in that mindset. I think that's why we're seeing her placed in these positions. Think of any politician running and then think of how she conducts herself. It's very much the same. So I think they're eventually going to try and make her do that. And that would be her stepping down, and who knows who would step in place. But I think that's about it. And as for Tyler Robinson not working alone, 100%. I think at this point, if you look into the case, for me, it's impossible to think that he worked alone. It's impossible. How could you possibly think that he worked alone at this point? Knowing alone that if he set up, if the tent didn't move, because the tent's supposed to be just in center, they moved it like 7 feet to one side. And if it wasn't moved there, he wouldn't have a shot. That alone tells me like something's going on here. Something. Right? And who put that tent in position? It wouldn't be the audio video guys, or maybe it would. I don't know. But somebody would have put, I guess it would have been UVU Turning Point chapter people that would have put that tent in place. I'm guessing. That alone says something to me. The fact that I think Jesse on Fire, I think there's a few people, but I'm pretty sure I saw it on Jesse. There was this white SUV that was kind of following him around. So like when his car, or when this black Charger, we assume he was in the car, when this black Charger was in a plaza, all of a sudden you see this white SUV. When the shot went off and Tyler Robinson ran through that parking lot, you see this white SUV. It's very weird. And it's around him quite a bit. And I think that white SUV, I haven't looked into it. I've wanted to look into it. I haven't had time, but I think that white SUV is also linked to the 3 cars that Candace brought up when she was talking about license plates. One of them was a white SUV. So I wonder if that's the same type of car. That would say a lot. But yeah, the fact of him working alone, I just don't think so. And again, in his text messages, it clearly says that he's like, oh, I think I've been working on this for planning this for about a week. And I went through a whole timeline that Sam Parker kind of like pieced together where it's you could clearly see that UVU did not announce which courtyard that they would be in. They announced a courtyard, but there's 2 courtyards. So this would have to have Tyler himself planning out 2 different strategies for getting off a shot. He would have to be planning out 2 of them at the same time, the whole time. There's no way he did that, right? And then the day before, they announced the actual courtyard that it's going to be in. The day before, 24 hours before, they say the actual courtyard. The whole time when it's being put in these newspapers and online and everything, they just keep saying UVU courtyard, right? And then what Sam Parker actually figures out, because I think it was Jack Camelot, I believe that's what his name is on X, but he does a FOIA type of request. I think it's called something else, but he does a request of information. And he says, I would like to request, the construction plans for the UVU courtyard. And even UVU says back, hey, you saying UVU courtyard is not specific enough, because UVU knows we have multiple courtyards and we're not just giving you every single thing for every courtyard. So if it's not specific enough for UVU, it's definitely not specific enough for Tyler. He doesn't know where it's going to be, or does he? And how does he? Because if it's not announced, who told him? So now we have the people who would actually know would be the people from the Turning Point chapter, the larger entity of Turning Point, the people around Charlie, Elizabeth McCoy. These are the people that would know which courtyard, because she plans events. I don't know if you know that. She plans events, and she's married to our Lord and Savior, Mikey McCoy. And 2 very big jobs. So those are the people that would know. And then on top of that, I guess the police would know, the campus police, security, I'm guessing would know as well, right? Those are the people that would know. So now within those people, is there anybody who could have been working with Tyler? I don't know, but they knew, and there's no way Tyler knew. So for him to be planning for a week, he would have to get that information from some of those people who knew already. And then you have George Zinn, and George Zinn doing what he did, and that doesn't make any sense. And you have all of these military dudes. You literally have all of these ex-military people at the first gate of where Charlie is. There's a bunch of them. There's like 5 of them all watching. And one of them ends up on TV. He does an interview, and after the shot went off, he was trying to clean something up on the site. Now, I don't know what he was doing when he was looking at the whole thing, but he was like cleaning stuff up. So what's that about? I don't know. Thanks for the tangent, though. Thank you, Shannon. Really appreciate that. As a Puerto Rican with family darker than you, I love the Dominican joke, and it fits Puerto Ricans too. Hit that like button, subscribe. I know. Believe you me. Listen. I know how these guys are. They're always like that. They're like, I'm not black. I know black, man. I know black. Just such nappy hair, just dreadlocks, just wide nose dreadlock. They're like, I'm not black. And you're like, what are you? They're like, I Dominican, man. I Dominican, papi. I know black, man. They get mad. Oh, yeah, they get real mad if you say that about them. It's nuts. They get real. Yeah, of course you have family. Like my buddy, he's married to a Cuban lady. My grandparents are Cuban too, but her family's like darker than me, When I first met her, I'm like, you're clearly like part black. And she's like, I don't know. And my buddy starts laughing. He's like, look at her dad. He's showing me a picture of her dad. The guy's darker than me. You know, we're all mixed up in this whole, it's very much the Caribbean. That's how it is. We're all mixed up with something. Like I got white. I think I got some Irish, some Scottish, some Welsh in me, right? There's Cuban. There's a whole bunch of things, man. People who have Caribbean blood, you're all mixed up. It's fine. It's fine, you know? What is this? Jeverberg? It's too bad the sponsorship hasn't been finalized yet. You're going to be plugging Philadelphia heavy tomorrow. You think so? Why? What's going on tomorrow? Prince Zelda says, I messaged you on Insta regarding the gate tapes and what happened when I tried the first one. Would be great if you covered their gov history. You messaged me. Are you called Prince Zelda on there? I would love to be able to see it. Sometimes I have to go to message requests to see my messages, but keep in mind, I do it. It's hard to get around to all of them. Let me know if I liked it or anything like that. If I did, I'll search through it though. You know what? There's a lady with a name. Been new to the, no, that's not it. I'll find it though. Thank you so much for sending that to me. I should talk about my own weird experience with doing that type of stuff to myself. Yeah, there's a weird thing that I did with like neural beats and like subliminal messages and like a whole bunch of weird things that I did with myself in a good way. Before I even knew about these programs and they existed. Me no black poppy. Ha 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 ha. I. That's how all the music goes. That's more Brazilian music. Some fun emojis for Erika to enjoy. Thank you so much. The angry Viking doesn't seem so angry. Seems like a fun Viking, in my opinion. Whose card is this? JD, big blue eyes, son of. People think they're really sons of Major Michael Aquino. I don't think they're actually related. They definitely look like him. They definitely do. You know. Baron Coleman suggested your live shows and you don't disappoint. Good job, Poppy. Thank you so much, Rose. Really appreciate that. And appreciate you, Baron. Thank you so much for shouting me out, man. It means the world. I don't know if I deserve it, but you know, I thank you for the love. Erika looks like she should be on Snapped or Deadly Women, FYI, true crime shows. What is this? Myers? I'm gonna call you R. Myers or Myers or Mears. Yeah, I get what you mean there for sure. Lisa P says 1969. Oh, sorry. She's Lisa P 1969 says, from one youngest to another, don't tell them about the secret school we go to practicing being annoying. As youngest siblings, yeah, there's a lot of preparation we go through to be annoying as we are. It's years of training. It's years of training, and we hone it to such a great place. Like if my brother was here, I could incite him to violence within minutes if I really wanted to, you know, just like out of nowhere. I could change his whole mood. Oh, what am I supposed to say? I'm just going to say Columbo. That's what I see right there. Columbo. Please watch the family documentary. It's a secret group that uses Christianity and scripture to manipulate and have power. What? Really? Hold on. Let me look this up on YouTube. Quickly. It's called The Family Documentary. I'm definitely going to look into this documentary. Is it from 1974? That's what I'm seeing here. Oh, it's on Netflix. The Family. It's not about faith. It's about power. Oh, very interesting. I would play this. I can't play anything from Netflix, but I'm definitely going to watch that. 100% I'm going to watch that. Thank you so much for letting me know. I have it literally on my screen now, so I will not forget. Thank you so much for that. Common Podcast, a lot in Common Podcast. Love you, Coach. Did you see Candace liked a comment from her last video that looked into Charlie's parents? I feel like they're being silenced. Also, we would love you to shout out our podcast. Done. I guess I did it. I guess I shouted out your podcast. But also, no, I did not see that comment get liked. The thing about Charlie's parents is they're grandparents, right? Erika, I know there's been speculation about her not having her kids. I think she does have her kids. And here's the thing. If she does, she could easily keep them from his parents. So when you talk about them being silenced, not saying that this is what she's doing, but in a family dynamic, you could do that. You could easily say, listen, the kids aren't going to see you as much, especially if you start speaking out about me or speaking about how you don't like me, right? She's the only parent now, right? Charlie could force it and be like, listen, they're going to see my parents, right? But with just Erika there, who knows how that dynamic works out? So they kind of got to be silent, especially if they want to see their grandkids. And most grandparents absolutely adore their grandkids and they want to see them all the time. So you could be right about that. That could be happening. I would love to know what they think about Erika, even more so than just knowing about them. So many people want to know about them. I would love to know what they think about her, right? That would be a cool thing to know. Mint donation from Croatia. I want to go to Croatia so bad. I don't even know why. It just looks so green in pictures. You know what I mean? I just want to see green, Not like Lindsey Graham green. I mean like trees and forest green. Erika Kirk was military, maybe used mind control on Charlie. I don't know if she would use it on Charlie. I mean, that's a possibility, right? But it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what's what, who's who, because right now she seems like a vessel. She doesn't seem like a cold, calculated person. She seems like someone who's just like in place for the time being. So it's hard to believe someone like that would be able to do that with Charlie. But it is easy to believe that someone like the spiritual person that was around Charlie for spiritual purposes, it's easy to believe that that guy could do it. It's easy to believe that Bill Montgomery could do it when they started Turning Point together. It's easy to believe that Rob McCoy could do it, Frank Turek alongside of Rob McCoy. It's easy to believe that those people could do that. And also, we don't know what happened to him during his time at Quest. He could have easily done these tests. He could have easily had these repressed memories. And, people have speculated also the fact that he had this notion that he was going to die young, that could have been implanted in him. A lot of times with what we see, right? That's why when you see, even Charlie passing away, when you see what you're seeing with ICE and the battles that are happening, a lot of it is pre-programming to get you used to certain imagery, right? And somebody could have done that with him and been like, okay, now get this guy used to this imagery of him passing away. Who knows? Who knows? Honestly, I don't know how young he's been having it. Candace says, Charlie says in a text message, the day he started Turning Point, he knew something was going to happen. That was at 18. So was he having these dreams beforehand at all? Did it start while he was at Quest? Did it start while he was in high school? Those are questions I would love to know. I would love to be able to talk to Charlie about that weird esoteric predicting, precognition type thing. Like, I would love to know what that is. Because in that interview that I played for you guys, where I thought the interviewer dropped the ball, where he was like, for sure, I've had the Holy Spirit talk to me, and they didn't go deeper into it. I would love to know what he heard. Because again, maybe it's that type of implanted thing where you think it's the creator talking to you, but it's actually something else. Or maybe it's where it's coming from is actually repressed, and now you're taking it in as though it's God talking to you. I don't know. But also he seemed so connected with the amount of intelligence he had. It didn't seem like a weird nerdy intelligence like Ben Shapiro had. It seemed like this intelligence that was given to him. It didn't seem like this book intelligence that he hammered into his head. It's almost like it was given to him to absorb knowledge, to be able to communicate it properly. It was like this God-given thing that he had. So hard to tell. That's why we say he passed away too young. There's still so much to know about Charlie Kirk, man. So much. She literally says things before September 10th are irrelevant now. Things have changed. WTF. Yeah, I noticed that too, Columbo. I noticed that exact thing as well. Yeah, she said things have changed now. It's not that it's irrelevant, but things have changed, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's just weird. It's weird. Humility equals glitter suit. Got it. Well, of course it does. Come on. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't like a good glitter suit, right? Am I wrong about that? Everybody loves a good glitter suit. When you're trying to be humble as you possibly can be, the best thing for you to do is to put on a suit that is glittering, literally from head to toe, and have the most expensive, wild pyrotechnics at both of your sides as you walk into a crowd of 20,000 people. Everybody knows that. Like, what are you, making jokes? Huh? That's the essence of humility. Okay? And I won't hear anything to the counter. Okay? Let's keep going here. Asian heat seeker. I am laughing at the name. It's a funny name. Scraping her hair. Ooh, scraping her eye dry. Oh, with that dry tissue hurts me. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You're not crying. You're obviously not crying. You're just taking away the needed lubrication on your eye. That's just natural lubrication. Those aren't tears. Your eye needs that. You're taking all that away. You know? It's also a thing that could kind of ignite tears as well. If you like, I know for some people this is gross when I do this, right? But you touch it enough with something, you can actually start tearing up. Do you ever think Charlie's parents are helping in the background? Why do you think they are silent? Helping who in the background? Helping the case? Helping Candace in the background? It's hard to know. Very hard to know. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think they're ever going to do interviews. I think they're going to stay silent. I would be surprised if like Charlie's mom starts talking or his dad. I don't think they want any part of that. And they're not like deep state figures like Erika's parents. One of them was an architect who helped, the now Prez build some buildings. So he had that connection. Isn't that funny? He had that connection, and then Erika's connected to him through the pageantry. Isn't that interesting? And then the Bureau said that the now Prez was actually an FBI informant. Huh. What a web of things, right? Did you hear that? Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson said that. He said that. That's on record. He said that, the now Prez was an FBI informant. He said it was just in regards to catching Jeff, helping catch Jeff in the crimes that Jeff was committing. I don't know. Does it stop? Once you have that relationship, does it stop? I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about. A very weird thing to think about. But in regards to his parents, I don't know. I don't know if they're helping in the background or who they would be helping in the background. Again, that's why I want to know. I would love to know, what do they think about Erika? What do they actually think about that lady? I would love to know that. If they think negatively about her, they never liked her, that kind of thing. I would love to know. Coach, you got to check out I Am a Good Citizen. Okay. I'll check it out sometime. What's this? Oh, I thought that said Colin. That's what I saw. What is this, Lincoln? What is this? Margie Lincoln? Margie Lincoln says, we are going in a different direction is the only true thing Turning Point said, which was Philly. Yeah, they're going straight to Philadelphia. 100%. You're going to see more of that in the future, I think. Mimi for hearts, thank you so much there. Yeah. I think they're going to go deeper into that. Nothing says humble like an $8,000 glitter suit / pyrotechnics. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 100%. Come on. Are you making a joke too? Come on. That's not a joke. For the allegedly, maybe, perhaps t-shirt, I really got to get on doing that design. I really got to get on it. Mimi says she's dabbing schnot from her nose, then straight to dabbing her eye. It's funny the things that people notice. I did not even pick up on that, and you're 100% right. Yeah, that tissue's going everywhere. It's going everywhere. It's okay. Hey, listen, do whatever you got to do, I guess. I don't know. But you're 100% right. I didn't even book that. Raquel Novak says, bro, been listening for weeks. Funniest live created channel to say I can't stop laughing picturing Gary spinning on the ground. I forgot I even said that. Oh my gosh. Gary just like, why I oughta. Here it is, Mo. Here's the text message. I told you not to share that text message. What's the matter with you? Nuck, nuck, nuck. Oh my gosh, Gary. Hey, Mo. Hey, Andrew. Why you so mean to me all the time? Because you don't know no better than to, you need someone to be mean to you. Mo, I don't like this. They're just running around trying to solve things. Who's Erika's Larry? Erika has the most hair. Larry has the most hair, kind of, right? He's bald here. He has hair there. Erika's Larry, you know? Andrew's Larry, Curly, Mo. Okay? And then Curly turned into Shemp, right? Do I have that right? I'm pretty sure. And I'll let them work it out, you know? They're the Stooges. Let's keep going here. Gary doing the spin on the ground is hilarious. Oh man. Oh, Gary's a great guy. Eyes to the sun. Does anyone else get the impression that the different direction they might be going is Team BB, possibly vetted by the counselor service offered? Am I saying that right? The counselor service offered? Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that's the direction. I think that makes perfect sense. I do. I think that's the direction they're going in. I think we're going to see more of that. I mean, you have to think about what Turning Point, like, have you ever watched the Turning Point Faith? Not even just Turning Point Faith, like Rob McCoy. Have you ever watched his sermons? You ever watched these guys in this unholy mob? Have you watched their service? It's all about Philadelphia all the time. These people who are anti, it's constantly talking about Candace, constantly talking about Tucker. All it is them just trying to mold public perception. They're trying to bend people's realities. That's all it is. It's nuts. Go watch them. It's nuts. Especially if you've been to a church with a good pastor, with a good-hearted, pure pastor. It's just it's wild to see. So yeah, I do think it's Team BB for sure. Tara Misu. Oh, I get it. Very good. A nice pun there. If we ever need code names for Tyler and Erika, it can be Hans and Franz. All right, we can do that. Hans and Franz, done, locked in. Just in case that ever happens. I hope it doesn't. Catholics, I think Charlie is in purgatory until Turning Point is no more. Pray and offer for the masses. Pray and offer masses for him. Now, purgatory. Yeah. Well, when it comes to the occult, when they summon things, now when it comes to dark entities, those dark entities usually have control in the situation. When it comes to something like that, where, you know, the person that passes, and I'm not saying this with Charlie, right? I'm saying this just as in general. If it is some kind of ritual, when someone passes, yeah, you could have them tethered, and, you know, maybe not in purgatory, or maybe, yeah, in purgatory. But yeah, you could have them tethered and have them and have their power, have the power that their spirit has, that their essence had. That is possible. That's a terrifying thing to think about, though. Absolutely terrifying. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope he's at peace, and I hope those chains were broken by Christ the second that he passed away. Sarah, thank you so much. Oh, here we go again with this name, Miss Jackson. Nafasa? Oh, okay, you're laying it out for me. My name is pronounced Nafisa. Okay. Nafisa. Okay, Nafisa Jackson. I'm here. We're here now. Okay. We're eye to eye now. I get it. Okay. Thank you so much. Love to all. So proud of this community. Has anybody ever thought about replacing Charlie's name with Jesus when Erika says Turning Point speaks on him, or when Erika and Turning Point speaks on him? Very telling. Exactly. No, that's a great point. That's exactly what I'm saying. You turn that around. You take that and you replace it with, you know, with Jesus, like you're saying. And what does that sound like? You know, let's say it out loud. Jesus is more alive than ever. There are going to be times where Jesus talks to you. Sometimes it'll be in the darkness of the night. Sometimes it'll be little moments in the morning. I want you to take the personal conversations that you have with Jesus and write them down, and keep those close to your heart, and tell your family about those conversations. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? That sounds nuts. It sounds nuts. Oh, man. But yeah, you're 100% right. Thank you. I still have to see the pronunciation. Nafisa. Thank you, Nafisa. I really appreciate that. Annie Beanie Fee Fo Fum. Is that Fum that it says there? It has to be. That would be a good Fee Fi Fo Fum. I'm going to call you Fee Fi Fo Fum, Annie. Thank you. Love from Ohio. I love Ohio. That was also one of the places me and my wife were thinking of settling. We really liked Ohio when we were there. Really, really liked it. I just love the way it looks. It feels peaceful. It really feels peaceful. Based, I'm going to call you Based because there's no way I can pronounce that. What is that? Exenol? Based Exenol? I'm convinced Candace Owens has the smoking gun with Fort Huachuca and the Egyptian plains that completely implicates Erika and is now setting up the evil character of Erika. Yeah, you know, when it comes to Candace Owens, you have to always realize there is more. There is more. You know, whatever you're thinking about Candace, whatever your thought process is on Candace, you have to know there is more when you're watching her. When she tells you about what she's telling you about, it's because there is more and more to come. I said this before. I think it's masterful. She's like the Stanley Kubrick of podcasting. She understands that it's not just about dropping all information into one thing in like 5 minutes. Like, here you go. I see so many people do that. And it's like, there is a business aspect to this. There is a storytelling aspect to this. There is a investigative journalist aspect to this. And there's an entertainer aspect. And she combines them all perfectly. So yeah, I think there is something coming. I think there's always something coming with Candace. She makes sure of it. And it's very, very smart in my opinion. Mariana Drummer. I just wanted to say how happy I am for you. Your family must be so proud of how far you've come. Never give up that passion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. People don't always say they're proud of me. My wife does, but not much else. Not many other people. So thank you so much for that. But it has been a long way. If you told Colin from 10 years ago that he'd be doing this and everything would be okay, he'd probably just start crying, you know? Honestly. Yeah, it's been a rough ride so far. But it's getting better. Life's getting a lot better. Whitney Murphy, 1989. Hello, Whitney. Kind of funny that Charlie supposedly wrote a book about honoring the Sabbath, yet they are pressuring everyone to work crazy long hours. Isn't that interesting? That is interesting. Because in the Sabbath, you're supposed to just put everything down. You're supposed to stop everything. You're supposed to come inside and say, Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home, throw your phone inside the drawer, close it up, and get started. That's what you're supposed to do. But they're not looking for the workers to do that. Isn't that weird? You know, you think you'd honor that book, right? It's funny, you know, there's the book and then there's the bottom line. Those are two different things, you know. I think that's what it is, Whitney. I think they're trying to honor the bottom line, you know. You don't listen. You don't sell thousands of hats by honoring the Sabbath. That's not how you do that, okay? That's not how you do that. Everybody knows that. Let's keep going here. Blue Lioness, have you checked out Erika's rings in that Zoom video? That's what I was saying. The rings are big. The rings are huge. The rings are huge. The rings are gigantic. One of them's a big G. I forget I don't know what the other ones are, but they're very big, and I don't know what they symbolize. I don't know what they are really. You know, but who knows? I don't know if we'll ever figure it out. She's made reference to them about how silly it is that people look at her rings, but it's like, okay, then show them. If it's so silly, show them. Let's see. Because you know people will be on it so quickly. They'd be like, this symbol's connected to this symbol's connected to that. She knows they would, so she's not showing them, but she's willing to tell us all that we're silly for looking at them. Okay. Love knots. We need audio clips of Big Poppy for our phones, Coach. That would be a great ringtone, right? You don't know me 60? You don't know me 66. I used to fly first class, but now I fly coach. Go, Coach Colin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. I fly coach as well. I do. First class. I would love to. Have you ever flown? Has anybody ever flown first class? I've never experienced that before. I don't know. I've never done that. it's a weird thing. I'm not like that yet. I don't know what that would be like. You know, I see it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I should do that. But then I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that. I barely get on planes. When you barely get on planes like me, anytime you're on the plane, it's first class. It's crazy. I get to be in the sky. I don't have to be in the where the bags are, you know, down below. I get to just be in a seat. This is great. I get to sleep. There's movies if I want. Okay. You know what I mean? It all feels good. I don't know how it feels to everybody else. It feels amazing to me. You know, maybe that's just the poor mentality that I have still. Like, you know, it's just like, what do you mean? Like, of course, this is great. We're in the sky. We're in the sky. We get to be in the sky. Okay. Anyway, Trusted Lights. There we go. Says, yes, please take down that evil picture of Joe Rogan magic mirror on your wall. Replace it with anything. Just make it go away. That's so funny. It's not evil. It's his ape face. It's what he does to humble himself. He makes the ape face to humble himself, to know that we are all just apes. And I don't fully agree with that, but I get what he means when he does it. I actually think we're all very divine in nature, and we're all connected to the divine. And I think that there is actually an unseen force and unseen forces at play that are trying to remove us from that divine and actually want us all to be installed inside machines, because once we're installed inside machines and we actually can't pass away, it disconnects us from our divine nature, because part of your divine nature is passing away and going back to source, going back up, ascending. I know, getting a little weird there. I apologize, but that's just what I think. So maybe you're right. Maybe I should take down the picture. I don't even agree with what it stands for. You know why that picture exists, right? When I first made my shirts, I used to be the person who was sending them out. So I have a press. I have a shirt press, and you have this paper. It's like sticker paper. So you put it on the shirt, you do this press, it heats it up, and then it's stuck to the shirt. That's what I used to do when I first started the merch. And I made this because I was going to make my own shirt with Joe Rogan's face on it. I thought it'd be fun. I was doing Joe Rogan content. I'd have his face. You know, it would be like a fun thing I could do. And then I was doing the podcast, and I had a white wall. And I was like, I can't do the podcast on a white wall like I'm some kind of hostage. I'm like, that's crazy. So I was like, I need pictures. So I already had this picture that I messed up. It was a messed up picture with all this color, right? All this color was all messed up. I wanted it to look way brighter. It didn't work out. So I just took that, because there's no shine on that, right? You don't want things behind you that are going to shine. It's distracting. It's weird. You don't want that. So I just stuck Joe Rogan's face on there with like glue, and then I just hung the picture, and it was just a filler. And then that one, same thing. I just needed something dark, and it's Anthony Bourdain, which is a shirt that I used to make. It's Anthony Bourdain with his last tweet across his eyes. And if you look into his last tweet, you'll understand what really happened to him. It's his tweet about a certain lady. And then there was an elephant here, and I just plastered the picture onto this picture, and that was it. And the elephant has no eyes. It's like the elephant in the room that can't actually see. So there's like a whole thing to it. And then it just stuck. I just left them there because I was like, why not? Who cares? But yeah, I get what you mean now. Breezy Day. Breezy says, can we find out where Erika gets her mascara? With all that crying, she should look like Goldie Hawn when she came out of the pool and death becomes her. Not even a smear in the corner pocket on the corner pocket Kleenex. Yeah, no, there's no scuffing. There's no running. There's no smearing. There's nothing. It's almost like it's dry. Almost. I'm not saying it is, though. You know? It's like me doing this, Just like for no reason. Just all the time. It's just a thing you do. Or you just go like that. You know, it's funny. My wife watches a lot of Housewives. You ever seen Real Housewives? And there is one in Real Housewives of Potomac. And there's one girl that she does that same thing. She'll grab the square and she'll start doing that. And that girl, not saying she's like Erika, she fakes crying all the time. She does that as a signal for you to not question her anymore or not push on her anymore. She always does that. She will grab it. I think her name's Candace, actually. Black girl, too. she goes like this and she acts like she's crying and she's actually not. Quite a lot of that on that show, actually. Let's keep. Whoa, what was this one? I didn't even say it. Carson Campbell. Do you ever wonder if nonstop shooting coverage, intentional or not, pulls attention from other issues? Our collective focus feels so short. If you wonder if nonstop coverage, intentional or not, I think I know what you're saying, and yeah, I think it is meant to pull your attention away. But I also always say to people, when people go, oh, this is a distraction and that's a distraction, that's a distraction. It's like, it's 2026. There's no more this is a distraction. They used to be able to do that because then they would just be like, the front page is something different now. Oh, sorry, we're not covering that other story anymore. Come on, get with the times, buddy. It's about the front page. What are you doing? It's not that time anymore. You could look at 4 different things every day, all day, if you want to. You could pull up your computer and pull up one thing and pull up your phone and pull up another thing. So it's like, there's no real distractions now. There's attempts to distract you, yes. And it does pull people's attention away, yes. But like I said, even with this case, there's still people who are analyzing the footage, right? John Bray is not distracted. He's focused on the microphone. He's been there the whole time. There's still people looking at the flights. Like you can only say so much as a distraction. It's really on you. I always say, like, being an informed citizen, you have to be able to look at a bunch of different things and don't allow yourself to be distracted, especially if you know they're doing it. Sparky says, hey, coach, the letters on Erika's rings are the first initials of her children. They give a brass knuckle vibe too much. Well, she's in the mob, right? So if she backhands you with those rings, it's going to be a serious backhand, but it's the initials. Okay. So there's G and then there's O. So I guess one of them has a name that's like Olivia or something like that. And the other one has a name that's G. I don't know what that would be, but, good to know. Good to know. I did not know that it was just initials. Thank you for telling us that. Jimmy Dean, it's all fake. Anything real is censored. We're extras in the Truman Show. Trigonometry are part of the tribe doing business as usual. Yes. I understand the whole Truman Show thing. Of course. I get what you're saying. But I don't think it was fake. I don't think what happened to Charlie was fake. I think there's a programming aspect. It's not that everything that's real is censored. It's that there's certain things that they want you to see and there's certain things they don't want you to see. That's why certain things that are not nearly as graphic as Charlie, what happened to Charlie, are censored, and then things like what happened to Charlie are not censored. Right? There was something that happened, I don't know, I want to say a year ago. It doesn't even matter because I don't even remember what it was. But I remember it got taken down from X so quickly. They were like, you can't see that. And it had something to do with the Middle East. So they didn't want us to see that, right? It's not that things that are everything that's fake is shown to you. It's that they show it to you for a reason. And if you don't know what that reason is, then, your mind does what it's supposed to do. And it just kind of grabs onto that imagery. Also, there's the aspect of your subconscious, and taking in images of people passing away is it wreaks havoc on your subconscious. You're not supposed to see that, right? You're not supposed to see people getting knocked out all the time, people getting hurt all the time. Those are things you're rarely supposed to see in life. Angie for Prez. Hi, Coach Colin. First super chat here. Do you know the name Kirk means church in Scottish? Really? And the name Charles means strength and leadership. So Charles was indeed the leader of the church. That is interesting. I did not know that. That's interesting. And you say in Scottish. I thought they spoke English. Am I wrong about that? Huh? I thought they spoke English. But I get what you mean. Every name has like a meaning behind it. I have no idea. My name means like playful. It's like something like that. But that's interesting. So his name means church. The guy who started Turning Point Faith, he has a name that means church in a adjacent language. I won't say another language, adjacent language. Interesting. Jimmy Dean, Jeremy Boring, Kissantine, Dirty. Yeah, those trigonometry guys, man, they're something else, man. They're not what they seem to be. Danks, what's going on, Danks? I've never seen someone go from 0 lives to daily marathons with such perfection before. Inspiring, stirs coffee, pushes glasses towards eyes, glasses back towards eyes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm good at this, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what good is, really. So I'm doing my best. That's all I try to do. Whether I'm making a video or I'm doing something like this, I just try and do my best. I try to have things laid out, try and bring what I can to people. If you guys like it, I'm very happy. If not, I'm still very happy because I'm having fun doing it. So thank you. Thank you so much for the compliment. Thanks. We have to talk more about that Erika Kirk life insurance policy. I have to understand that better because I want to bring it onto the show and talk about it a little bit. Paul Smith says, how much was Brian Harpole's severance package? A lifetime supply of mints? He would have took that lifetime supply of mints hands down. No arguments from him. You know, that's probably what he argued for. No, you guys aren't just going to let me go. Huh? No, I have a whole lot of mints coming to me. Yeah, I want them all. I know in the back room there are skids of mints, okay? And I think I should be getting a good portion of those mints. Keep your goddamn money, man. Keep your money, man. Mikey, you gonna speak up for me or what? And Mikey just ascends down. He goes, let it be. If the child wants mints, allow him to have mints. And he just flies away. He walks away. He walks away. He walked away for our sins. I love saying that. It's so funny. BH, more Brian Harpole impressions cracks me up, man. It cracks me up too. When I first started doing those, I was laughing about it. Because I do it by myself sometimes. Because I'm just like that. Sometimes I'm just making up my own stuff and I'm just laughing away. When I first started doing those impressions by myself, I was like, oh man, I got to do this. Holy, whole bunch of them just appeared out of nowhere. I was about to say, oh, we're all done, guys, but it seems like we are not. So when does it go back to where it was? Okay, so I thought we were done, and now it seems like we're not even halfway done. So that's a thing. All good. I love talking with you guys. I really like interacting. Let's keep going. Come on, go up. This right here. This is my my flawless production. You know how Baron always has a flawless production and then he just messes things up. This is the part where I mess up. It's always this. You know, I'm still on my learning curve. Why is it so high? Why is it so high up all of a sudden? Okay. We're here. We're locked in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Case. Queso. Is it queso? Queso like cheese? Or is it case 0411? Okay, either way. I could listen to you talk as Brian Harpole all day, man. You do it really well. I started tuning into your channel around Charlie's demise, and now I tune in daily. Best personality on the tube. Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm doing my best. That's all you can really do when it comes to life. And thank you. Thank you for enjoying it. It really, really warms my heart because, like I've said, there's so many people who kept me going when it came to shows, when it came to working, and I didn't want to be working at certain places, and I felt like the job I was in was sucking my soul away. And then I actually started working in film and television, which is in Hollywood. And then the next thing you know, it's like my soul, they were trying to get my soul. They really try to like break you in that industry. So the people who kept me going, if I can keep anybody going like that, it's just the best thing. That's the true paying it forward in my life. Seven Mattel says they wouldn't want that other team to see. I thought I read that already, didn't I? I read and liked that already. Oh, don't tell me we went up too far. Or did you say it again? You said it twice? No, I'll get to you, man. Don't you worry. You don't have to say it twice. Alea Reacts. That's a channel of some kind, I assume. Charlie passed away in the middle of a pentagon at UVU. A pentagon? A pentagon. Wait. Are you talking about a pentagram? You mean a pentagram, I think? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're wrong. I'm not sure. I think you mean a pentagram. at UVU. It was a dark ritual. Also, 33 means 1/3 of the angels were kicked out of heaven, which was 33.3%. It was 33 of them were kicked out of heaven for just being too wild, too evil, too much coming down and just looking at all the ladies. They were taking wives and stuff. These guys were out of control down here. You know, it's so funny to think of that story and aligning with people being apes, because that means the angels came down and they saw these hairy ape women and they were like, such beauty I've never seen before. You know, they're all like Chris Hemsworth, just like jacked, long blonde, flowing gold hair. And they're looking at these apes, because apparently we were apes before. And they're looking at these apes and they're like, I've never seen such beauty before. Give me that big, hairy ape booty. Really? That's really? I don't know, man. That's what they were doing? And that's how they created the Nephilim? You sure? I don't know. That story sounds pretty weird to me. They fell in love with apes? That's odd. That's very weird. I don't know. Maybe they did. You know, everybody has their kinks. 5. You just said 5. That's it? That's all you're saying? 5? Okay, fine. Let's keep going. Where'd you get those boots? From the boot store? What boots? What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I don't want to go through all the videos. What are you talking about? What boots? From the boot store? I don't even know. Steven Seagal's chair. Man, what an honor it is, ladies and gentlemen. Steven Seagal's chair is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor this is. Hello, sir. I assume you're a sir. Love the stream, brother. Just found you a couple of months ago. Do you have a business email to contact for ideas and professional questions? You can just contact the website. It goes straight to an email. Also, in any YouTuber's profile, you can go to I think there's an about section, and you can find anyone's email there. That's anybody on YouTube. All the emails are there. So that's a thing. Any chance Preddy was some kind of actor? I don't know. I think he really passed away. Couldn't be sure of it, but it's very odd that something like that would happen. You can always chalk it up to just, you know, people being terrible and, you know, being willing to do terrible things in front of the public. But yeah, I get what you're saying there. I don't know that for sure. I wasn't there. I can only go by the video. The video looked very real. It was also one of those videos that they thought we should be able to see on repeat. And that's always weird when that happens. So, I mean, who knows? You'd have to look deeper into it. Erika saying I forgot about this. Erika saying he's more alive than ever after he was publicly taken out is just psycho behavior. Love your work, coach. Yeah. Somebody said that. Somebody sent me that. Superman. Where is Mikey McCoy's pajamas? Yeah. When it comes to her saying he's more alive than ever, someone sent me that in the morning, and they were going with the narrative of him still being alive, and that's why she said that he's more alive than ever. But I don't know. I don't know that for sure. So could be. I don't know what that means. But like you're saying, it's a wild thing to say. It's a very wild thing to say. But there was a lot of wild things within those calls that she was saying, man. Like, just crazy. The reason Candace and everyone needs to go hard on Erika now is because she should be the biggest ally of the truth tellers in the Charlie Kirk investigation. How can she ignore X posts the day prior predicting Charlie's fate? That's a great question. Metal roofing. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you would think that she would be like, go Candace. That she would be like, Cash, can you please consider what Candace is saying? Can we look at all avenues? But instead, the memorial happens when? When does the memorial happen? Not soon after Charlie passes. And she forgives Tyler Robinson. Now, the reason that she forgives Tyler Robinson is to create the... and again, I'm not one of these people that's saying he needs to like walk free, but that puts guilt on him. When she forgives him, she is saying he is guilty. It's a very interesting thing to do. You're putting into all those people's minds, everyone that saw that, right? You're saying he's guilty, right? But I forgive him. He did this. He is the person that did this. Forget the trial. Forget what's going on. He did this, and I forgive him. Interesting that you would go with that so quickly. Like, why? Why would you go with that so quickly? Right? How do you ignore the people who were predicting it? How do you ignore those people? There was a bunch of those. I think there was like something like, I think 3 to 5 people who released some kind of tweet or something talking about Charlie not making it past the 10th, talking about Charlie passing away. How do you ignore that? How do you not ask questions about that? How do you not hang on to that? How do you not make a public statement about that? You know? I don't get it. I don't get it. You possess this rare balance of humor, high intellect, class, and kindness. You are a gift. Thank you so much. Kate Grand Rapids, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's all true, but I try. I try to be balanced. I don't try to seem intelligent, that's for sure. Tim's compromised by Philadelphia. You damn right he is. Come on, for sure. For sure. I mean, you know, not to say anything, because Tim was caught up in a scheme. It was a scheme. He was a victim of this scheme when it came to tenant media. I just want to put that out there so everybody knows. It wasn't his fault. Wasn't intentional whatsoever. But he was getting an exorbitant amount of money. And that money was keeping him afloat, I would think. That's a lot of money. I mean, I think it was reported that Dave Rubin was getting like $400,000 a month. Dave Rubin's show sucks. Tim Pool's show is at least better than Dave Rubin's show. So how much was Tim getting? That was probably keeping his whole business afloat. Then when that went away, all of a sudden there was these issues. Just saying, right? So I only say that to say it's easy to get compromised when you are in a magnificent amount of financial pressure. Not saying that's what happened to Tim, but that is what can happen to somebody. Please watch the family documentary. It's called Christianity for Hire, very powerful. Yes, I will watch it 100%. I think you said this already, Columbo, and I will watch it. I'm going to for sure. While I'm doing my work for the next show tomorrow, I will look into that because it might be something we have to talk about. Candace O is doing for Charlie Kirk what Mary Tillman did for Pat Tillman. Yeah, and she's the only one doing it. The Seventh Direction. Thank you so much. Yeah, and she's the only one doing it, right? Don't lie. You were putting on baby oil. I have a gray shirt on. If I had baby oil on me, you'd see the marks. Okay? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Sir Smith, you'll never prove that I had on baby oil. Okay? And, you know, no, I would never put on baby oil. You know, can you imagine you're somebody who loves baby oil now and it has this terrible stigma, right? You're going to the store and you're trying to buy 2 bottles of baby oil. And now the cashier is going to be like, oh, God, it's disgusting. Right? You can't buy baby oil with the same zest that you used to be able to buy it with. You used to be able to be proud to buy some baby oil. Now it's gross. It's gross. You're going to have to go get gas station baby oil where they won't judge you. And you don't know what's in gas station baby oil? God. You can't do that now. You look crazy going in to buy some baby oil now. Anyways, Nana says her right hand has the initials for her kids' wedding rings. Initial for her kids and wedding band. Very odd. Left hand engagement ring. Really? Yeah, I never noticed all the rings, man. I noticed them, but I never noticed what they are. How are you guys even knowing what they are? How do you guys do that? What are you guys looking at? Send me something if you guys are seeing something. Eyes of death and stuff. Death and stuff, huh? Okay. That's pretty broad. We'll do it live. F it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Bill O'Reilly going nuts, screaming, we'll do it live. This gentleman says nothing. What up, Jerome? How you doing, man? Killa Killer AK, coach, you look like PJ Tucker from the Hoopers. Let me see this. Hold on. This could be something absolutely terrible. I shouldn't show my screen until I pull this up. PJ Tucker from the Hoopers. Let's see. Well, show me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, I do. I do look like that person. Yeah, I look like that guy. You're right. I look like that guy for sure. Okay. A lot of times people are wrong when they bring up these comparisons. No, you hit it. I definitely look like that guy. That's nuts. Who's he play for? Nets? PJ? Oh yeah, I look like him. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, New York too. Okay, all right, fine. You win that one. Okay. That was a good call. Honestly. Thank you, AK Killer AK. They know. Someone said they know. Let's keep going. User says, thank you for covering all this. This is the one channel I don't put on double speed, captivating and funny. That is an honor. For those of us that listen to things on double speed and triple speed, for you to say you don't do that with me, that I know what a compliment that is. Thank you so much. I know what Mortal Kombat is, but what it does often equal. Okay, so again, I've explained this many times, but maybe you heard it. Maybe you sent this early and you already heard the explanation. But there's Mortal Kombat Ultra, and then its successor was Often. There was offshoots of Mortal Kombat Ultra. There was a few things, but the one that I focus on a lot, and then after Often was Stargate. But I focus on Often a lot because I think that you can see Often going through Hollywood and politics and all the symbolism that we see, everything that's done to us to make us believe certain things. I think Often is at the root of all that. So there's Mortal Kombat Ultra, and then there's Often. So there's no proof that they made Mortal Kombat Ultra go away. There's no proof that they stopped it, but there is proof that they did move on to something called Often, and that's what that is. So just wanted to say that for you again. Thank you so much, Gloria. Really appreciate that. Watch your Dominican song on double speed. It probably sounds so much better. It probably sounds way better. Harpole impression spot on. Yes, sir. I keep it spot on. Please do a live show. Give us some stand up, then a live collab pod with Baron. I'll force my husband across the country for this. That would be pretty cool to sit down with Baron. That would be very interesting. I think he could keep up with it too. I think he has the chops for that. It's hard. It's hard to do things live in front of people. I mean, doing a live show like this is one thing. Like doing a video is one thing and then releasing it. Doing a live show like this is another thing, another beast, and it's harder. And then doing it live in front of people, getting the stage and the microphone and the eyes is so different. It's so crazy. Like right now, 7,000 people, 7,500 people, one stream I had was 18,000 people. But when you're in a room and there's 100 people, it feels like there's 30,000 people sometimes. It's crazy. You get used to it, but man, oh man, is it hard. I will wear many hats, but I'm not putting on a wig. You won't do the dress ritual that Kevin Hart did? Come on, man. This is Lance here if you guys don't know. And yeah, I'm way cooler than Jamie. Last mods needed to add our AWC and okay, I will get that done. I just did Whitney randomly because she left a super chat. Mr. Fleet. I'm just going to call you Mr. Fleet. Definitely sent a DM on Instagram about design yesterday. You left me on red. Okay, so I think I know. I tagged you a couple of times on Twitter. Yeah, I think I know who you are. You sent a bunch of designs. I'm positive. And I really liked one. One of them was like right up my alley with what I really liked. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you are. My Moon Star Gallery says UVU must have had video set up that morning. Of course they did. They had everything set up. They have cameras everywhere. Tiramisu, the recent new info coming out about Idaho 4 reminds me so much of the investigation into Charlie. Tyler and Brian seem to be the patsies to something much bigger and darker. No way one person did it. I don't think it was one person. I laid out everything already in terms of, the reasons why I don't think that. It just doesn't seem like there's one person involved. It seems like there's multiple people. Barron sent the Barronites on the Memorial Prep podcast. I think this all process was sus. 11 days after he passed, who called the guy and when exactly? Yeah, when it came to that guy, yeah, who called that guy and when? It's very interesting to think about. How did they do that so fast? That memorial? That's a very big thing to set up that fast. Maybe they did. Maybe it was a rush job. Maybe they dropped every single thing they were doing and made it happen. That's possible. People work hard, especially Turning Point when they got you working 70 hours, 80 hours a week, right? Maybe they did the same thing with those guys. I don't know, but yeah, those questions need to be asked. And I'm sure that video that Barron showed has like 100,000 views by now because of Barron. So funny. And people are going to be looking into that guy pretty heavy. What was his name, by the way? Does anybody know? Anybody who listens to Barron, do you know who that guy that he showed in that clip, what was his name? The guy who handles the sets and everything. Let me know if you guys know. Oh, did I miss the first 20 minutes? Did Coach do the Valley Girl voice? I did not do the Valley. I did it a little bit. It's a funny voice, It's just the upspeak. It's not fully Valley Girl, because Valley Girl is like, what I'm saying, there's a lot of but the upspeak is like a different thing. The upspeak is almost like, it's very liberal. It's very liberal, the upspeak. You know why the upspeak? Because everything's a question. And if you say something that's wrong, you can always back out because it sounded like you were asking a question. So if someone corrects you, you can just say, of course. That's why the upspeak actually exists. That's why you see a lot of younger people doing it. It's not just Valley Girls you see doing it, right? There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of girls. They're from everywhere, and they all have one thing in common, is that they're coming out of the education system. They're coming out of college, these very liberal, activist, wokey colleges. That's why they all have the upspeak. It's so that they can back out of anything that they weren't supposed to say, because their generation is the one that cancels people on a dime. Our generation, who are older, we see famous people get canceled. Their generation, they cancel each other right away. It's very interesting. It's a completely different thing, but that's the whole upspeak thing. So you heard me do it just a little bit there. When Barron was doing it was so funny. He's just going hard at Erika. Oh yeah, he's going hard at Erika. Proof: Tyler Oswald Robinson being framed. You want me to check that out on YouTube? Okay. I mean, I'm seeing it. I understand. Moon Goddess. Tyler didn't do it. He was set up by Robbie Held. Hold on. Robbie, I've never seen this name before. Robbie Heald. I've never seen that name before. I don't know who that is. The real guy on the roof. I don't believe Tyler had any idea what he was getting involved in, and Tyler was the chosen proxy because he's... Oh, you don't hear many people say that anymore because he's gay. Maybe. I mean, I have to look into who that is. I've never seen that name before. Forgive me. Andy is watching. As a Dominican, I love your joke. We make fun of each other all the time. We also have a lot of distinctions among skin color or minor skin complexion differences. We are all culturally different. See that? That was her way of being like, I know black poppy. That was her way of saying. I'm kidding. But yeah, exactly. There's so many. I mean, like I said, Barbados, Jamaica, all the places, like, they're all very mixed up. You go from place to place. It's like it's different culturally, different spice wise, but also the same culturally, same spice wise. Sometimes the same beats, music. It's like it's all lending from each other constantly. Who says mind control has been replaced with mint control? I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I really like that. MI and a few other states have grandparents. MI and a few other states have grandparents' rights laws. Oh, for when one parent is not in the picture. I did not know that. I've never heard of that before. Okay. So maybe they can't be silenced by that. So if they are being silenced, maybe there's another way they're being silenced. I don't know. Do you even know if his parents are still around? Charlie's are definitely still around. Please post a coach series. Please, coach, a series. What do you mean, a series? What kind of series? Yeah, are his parents still around? I have no idea. I think they are. I mean, they still exist. They were at the funeral. They were at or maybe it was a part of a memorial. They weren't at that big crazy memorial. They were at the smaller thing, and it was interesting because they were family, but they were separated. I even commented on this because I thought it was weird. They were separated. So Erika and her mother are crying together, right? Or Erika's mom's crying. They're sad. Sad. And Charlie's parents are there, and they're separated. So Charlie's dad is holding Charlie's mom, and Erika, her mom, is holding her, and they're kind of like separate. And I found that so odd because I know with my family, if something, God forbid, happens to one of us, we'd all be together because we're family. We'd all be huddled together as family. But who knows? Who knows what's going on there? That's why, again, I would love to know what they think about Erika, what they actually think about her. Two great YT yesterday. Two great YouTube yesterday. Whitney Webb on eugenics. Don't be fooled with what's happening and common sense. Proof Tyler Robinson Oswald is being framed. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I gotta. Oh, you're saying both those videos are great. Check them out. I'll check it out. Whitney Webb's a little boring sometimes with how she really. Whitney Webb and Ian should get together on something, because she has this deep research skills, but Ian knows how to make things really fun and palatable. I know how to do that too, but I do it from a humor perspective, an entertainer perspective, but he knows how to take deep research and make it really entertaining, and if she learned from him, she would blow up like he does. A lot of people wonder why she doesn't blow up. It's because how you present the information. If you don't present it in an entertaining way, it kind of falls on deaf ears. Sadly, that's the way it works. Not many people running into libraries right now. It's where a lot of information is right now. A lot of great information inside libraries, but the information is packaged in a boring way for a lot of people. So they look at a book and they go, I could learn a lot from that book, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. But then you watch one of Ian's videos, like an hour-long video, and you get a book worth of information, but it doesn't even feel like you had to sit through anything. You enjoyed it. He has a real talent for that, I notice. I wish Whitney Webb would learn from him, because then we would learn more. Like, I read one of her books. I was like, geez, Lou. This is I get it. The information is great, but good Lord. So I wish it was just more entertaining, honestly. But I'll check it out. I like when she's on podcasts. I like when she's on someone else's podcast, because then they force her to talk about things. I want to see her on Joe Rogan's podcast one day. I don't know if he's not allowing it or what, or because he's friends with Peter Thiel and Musk and all these different people. Maybe he can't because she'll make them look so bad. But that would be a very interesting podcast to have them do 4 hours. Joe and Whitney Webb. You don't hear from Charlie's parents because they are grieving after watching Erika. I respect that. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't hear from them because you never heard from them. I mean, even when Charlie was at his biggest, it's not like he was always like, my parents are right there, guys. They've always been in the shadows. So I don't think it's because they're grieving. I think it's because this is how they are. Quite honestly. I know that's the go-to thing. When someone passes, they're grieving. But I don't think that's it, because that's always been how they are. They've never been in the spotlight. Charlie has a sister. Did you even know that? It's because they don't like to be in front of camera at all. It's not their thing. It was Charlie's thing. Charlie's neck was made of steel. The Twin Towers. The Twin Towers made of neck bone. There you go. Gala 7. That was a funny comment. You crack me up. I also love your take on this Kirk situation, but really love the tinfoil Speedo content. I know. I gotta get back to that eventually. Steven Seagal's chair, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Steven Seagal's chair is here. Love your videos. Just found a couple of months ago. Do you have a personal? Didn't I read this already? I feel like I read this already. Did you send it again? Steven Seagal's chair. Candace Jackson, did dig myself some Coach Colin. Love watching you, brother. Thank you so much, Candace. Really appreciate you. Let's ski. Donnie skis. Donnie Sykes. Hey, I was doing a thing the other day, and then all of a sudden I run into Donnie Sykes. You seen Donnie Sykes? Don? Yeah, Don. Oh, what's going on with that guy? I don't know. We went out for a couple drinks. We whacked a couple guys. It was pretty nice. He's a good guy. It's a good guy, Donnie Sykes. I think Candace and Charlie were meant to be together, and they knew it too. And once again, I'm going to need you to try that black background. I'm not doing a black background like Wolves in Finance. It's crazy. It's a crazy, bold thing to do. Not even with a little bit of light or anything. Like, it's bold. It's very bold. But yeah, I think they were too. I think they were meant to be together too. Just from the way that they spoke to one another, I don't know what kept them apart in that way. I could see Candace being like, I don't date people I work with. Like, and also they probably didn't want to mess up that work relationship, because they really had something when they would work together. They were on fire. But yeah, I don't know. And I think it would have been great, because Candace would have been that wife that would have been like, oh, like, you think I'm Jackie O and I'm just going to disappear? My JFK just passed away. Hold the phone. Don't even worry. Hold on a second. And she just would have went. She's already going hard. She's already going hard like she's his wife, right? While his wife is like, bro, do you know how many hats we just sold? Do you guys have any idea? We got like chapter requests like crazy, bro. Bro, you guys take time off if you want with your lazy selves. We're going full steam ahead. Are you kidding me? Weird. It's weird, the dynamic between those two. You know, the way Candace is being versus the way Erika's being. It's very odd. I don't know. Let's keep going. Did a bunch of them just pop up? Oh, good Lord. Oh, God. Well, honey, we're not going to the grocery store quite yet. Would love to know what you really think. KE. What is KE? Let me make sure you guys can see this. Would love to know what you really think. KE Paso with Charlie. What does that mean? Does anybody know what that means? Okay. Can anybody in the chat help me out with that? What you really think KE Paso with Charlie. What does that mean? Does anybody know what that means? Can anybody help me sound that out? At all? I don't know. Yeah. Someone says Spanish? Spanish. What do you mean Spanish? What do you mean Spanish? Come on, dyslexia? I'm dyslexic? Que paso? You think it's que paso? It's K-E. How's it que paso? I do Duolingo every day. This doesn't look like any Spanish I see. Yeah, paso. Okay, fine. How Charlie passed? What do you really think how Charlie passed? I don't know. Listen, you got to rate that again, okay? You got to rate that again. People are telling me you're speaking Spanish. What do you... Que paso? But it's K-E. It's not que paso. I don't know. And what does que paso even mean? Tell me. It means what's up. Oh, come on. What you really think what's up with Charlie? Love to know what you really think what's up with Charlie. Nah, that can't be what they're saying. That's all I talk about on this channel is what I think what's up with Charlie. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll all learn Spanish together. Um, relaxation. It's kind of weird that Charlie had an episode about opening the Jeff files on July 15th. Makes you wonder, same time frame as the first secret meeting. Oh yeah, like Charlie pushing against that, that's also an aspect. Charlie pushing for those files and what he was saying about that guy. Really underrated of what kind of impact that had. Because at that point, when he started talking about those files, he was in Candace territory. When he was doing those podcasts, go back and watch them. He sounded a lot like Candace. A lot like Candace. Like the way she would present information. So there's probably people who are like, oh no, the golden child's going off the deep end. We can't have this. So yeah, there probably is a link there between what he was talking about and that secret meeting. And the fact that afterwards he had Tucker on stage. So imagine this. He does that podcast that you're talking about, okay? Imagine this. He does that podcast that you're talking about. Then he has Josh Hammer, Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson all at that event. Tells Tucker, go max, double down on everything. So he does that podcast, has this secret meeting. They're trying to keep him in line. And what he says in return is, F you very much. I'm going to have Josh Hammer, Dave Smith debate. I'm going to have Tucker go max on what I was saying on that podcast. Think about that. I mean, think about it. Pushing hard, man. I'm telling you, this guy's nuts. You like it when we call you Big Poppy. Just joking. We love you, Coach. Thank you so much. Just say Julie. You like it when we call you Julie, right? You put it in your name there. You made sure. LL says G is her daughter for Giovanna. M is for MacArthur. Nicknames Gigi and Mac. Oh, okay. I know this from reliable source. Third ring is her wedding band. Thank you for that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I thought it was a G and an O. I thought it was a big O. Maybe there's an M inside that O. Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for that. Be a baby. You're not alone with your theory of being cut from our divine nature and our consciousness trapped in machines. Yeah, I think that's a really big thing. I think it's very clear that's what they would like from us. Slowly, Neuralink and all that stuff. I've made episodes about Neuralink and what I think all that is. Sent you a message on the gram. Check whenever you have time. Loving live streams in the morning. Gets through the first half of the workday. Sorry you don't get much sleep, though. All good, man. I love to hear that. Thank you so much for listening to me while you're at work. I really appreciate that. Why does little Saigon, why does it seem like those interested in Charlie Kirk case are mostly women? Shout out to the ladies, but where the bros at? Too busy Civil War LARPing. That's funny. That's funny. And yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed since I started doing this, I mean, it's never happened before. Usually I have 98% men watching, 99% men watching. Now it's like 60-40, 60% women, 40% men. I think it's even lower now. So yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, women like to solve things. They like closure, I don't think it's wrong to say that. They like closure. They don't like things just staying open-ended, and they don't like a lady acting out of sorts. When they see things out of sorts, they're like, hold on a second. A guy will just be like, I don't know. I don't know. But a woman will be like, hold on a second. Let me just, what did she say about hats? She was talking about hats? After her husband passed away? What do you mean? She was talking about sales. She was laughing? She's like, let me see the video. Like, they don't play around with that stuff. They're like, hold on a second. I want to hear a little bit more of this, They don't play around. Let's get into this. Defense attorneys went to block the video of what happened to Charlie, literally his best evidence for his innocence. The defense went to block it. They want it blocked from all social media. That's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. Freddie says Old Mill Junction, Coach, or what part of Tennessee? I don't know. I don't know what part that is. Honestly, I know it sounds weird, when I'm traveling, my wife knows every place that we're at. I'm just like, I'm following the directions. We're here. I have to lift the bags. I have to move the suitcases. I have to do that stuff. And she knows about the reservations, and like, we have our rules. I lift things. I drive. She navigates and feeds the baby. We have our very distinct roles. I got clarification in the chat that often is actual name and not a code for code word for something else. There you go. I'm starting to be able to read these super chats. Super chat language is a little different. What's your take on Charlie Kirk doing Masonic gang signs? I've heard people say this quite a bit. I have not seen that. If you're talking about the 3 fingers, that's the only one I've ever seen. But I mean, the real one would be the middle finger, the index finger and the pinky finger raised with the thumb raised. That would be the one that's very telling. Erika Kirk actually did that one at his memorial. When she was hugging Trump, she raised her hand in the air and did that. If you're talking about the other one with your fingers together like that, that is not. You can say that one is. You can actually form 6s from that one. But the one that really stands out to me that you see presidents do and everybody in Hollywood and all those people, it's the one that Erika did at the memorial. And that's the one you should be looking for. You can't just see one and just go, that's Mason, that's Masonic. And on top of that, that symbol's not Masonic, just so you know. It's actually, I want to say Luciferian. I want to say like Satan type stuff. It's occult more than anything. It's not just Masonic. So sorry to correct you there. I know people hate that, but you're not on the wrong path. You're on the right path. Just need to be a little nudged over a little bit. Brian owns Mosaic Pro did the event. Oh, his name's Brian. Thank you so much for that, Brad. I will look into this guy today. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And he owns what's it called? Mosaic Pro. Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, definitely want to look into that guy a little bit. What's your email? I'll email you about Robbie. Check out the website. If you have something to say, the website has a contact page. It goes directly where you need to be going, and then we'll be in contact. I'll be able to go back and forth with you, because when I respond to you from the contact page, it'll go straight to your email, and then we'll be going back and forth. Mad Season. That's what I meant to say, because that's what it says. Sorry. I wonder how Tyler's parents feel right now, knowing they turned him in and now are seeing all this evidence being revealed every day. Yeah, I wonder too. How they feel about that and what they're being instructed to do. Yeah, I think about that as well. Because the last thing you want to do is do that to your kid. And now you have the woman being like, I need a speedy trial. And, you know, the biggest possibility is that he's going to die. And it's just horrifying as a parent. It must be horrifying. That's what they must be going through. Terror is what they must be going through. So artsy fartsy, Coach, have you done a show going into more detail about your mushroom tattoos? Very interested in the story. I have the mushroom tattoos because I'd never want to hide how much they've helped me. I have a bunch of them. I got this one in LA. I got this one in Canada. I got this one in Canada. There's a little one here. I got this one in Vegas. I got this one in Hawaii. It's a really big one. I got them because I don't want to hide what these things have done for me. When I was in a very dark place, they helped me, and they helped me move closer to God. And I wouldn't prescribe it for anybody in that regards. I would say just move towards God. But I was in such a dark place, and they helped me clear my head, and I just don't want to hide it. I don't want to hide what they've done. I know a lot of people who hide what they've done for them, and I don't want to be one of those people, so I got these tattoos just randomly. Now, how I got the tattoos is a different story. My friend became a crypto millionaire overnight. My very good friend. We were poor. Oh, no. What happened? Oh, I'm still good, though. Just the page shut down? Okay, whatever. Will it come back? Is the stream done? It's still there, right? Did we go out for a second? Okay. All right, we're still here. I gotta go back to those super chats. But I was explaining the story. What happened was he became a crypto millionaire overnight, and a whole bunch of things happened. He actually said to me, he's like, you have a lot of ideas of things that you want to do. He's like, and I'll want to help you with those ideas. And then he wanted to give me an undisclosed amount. He had a lot of crypto, he had a lot of Bitcoin. And there's a bunch of Bitcoin that he gave me. And he said, take this. And this is when that Bitcoin was at like $2,400. And he gave this to me and he said, I'll give this to you, but you have to quit your job. And I was like, oh no. And I realized right then, and maybe this was a time of the Holy Spirit talking to me. Maybe that's one of the few times. But something came to me. It was like, you can get a job like this anytime. This opportunity is going to only come once. This doesn't happen all the time where one of your friends randomly becomes a millionaire. Oh, excuse me. So sorry. Not professional like Baron. Sorry. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I did. And then he was like, I want to go on a trip. He's like, I want to go to all these different places. I want you to come. And I was like, no, I can't come with you. I have a girlfriend. It's our first Christmas that we'll be spending together. I have to go to her family's place. And then my wife, who's like my girlfriend, who's now my wife, she was like, no, you should go do that. That's like another once in a lifetime type of thing. You should go have fun, blah, blah, blah. So I go. And I said, the only way I'll go with you is if you make sure that you get me a tattoo in every place we go to. And he was like, okay. And we just started traveling around, and every place we touched down on, I was like, okay, it's time to get a tattoo. And we made sure to get a tattoo in every place. So that's the story. I just don't want to hide what they've done for me. They've done a whole lot for me. And yeah, it's just one of those important things. Now, today, I don't do anything like that. I am completely sober. I do not do anything like that. But there was a time where those things did help, and they helped a lot. So I just don't want to hide that. So that's the story. Sometimes super chats autofill very weird. Yes, they do. I 100% agree with you there. Ever watched the show Fringe? No, I haven't actually watched the show Fringe. Evan and Evan. Did another one come in? Okay. Evan, Ivan and Ivan, come on, bro. Listening to you while working. Sorry. I apologize. You got to have your headphones in, though. Got to have your headphones in. People are going to think you're nuts listening to this stuff. Watch James Freeman's recording the bass. Perfect. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is everything today. I'm glad I got to end it off with that story, because I think I have to tell that story every 6 months, because we get so many people asking about the tattoos. That is the thing behind the tattoos. Please, everybody, as I do this right now, please say it back. Say it back in the chat. Bye. Got to take the wife to the grocery store, and me as well. We need fruit. I need blueberries because I'm now a healthy person. So I've switched up hamburgers for blueberries and apples because I love them. Thank you guys so much for coming to the show. I really appreciate it. We ran a little long today. We're almost at 3.5 hours. Those of you that are still here, you are very appreciated. Love you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here, letting me just rant endlessly about all this stuff. I will be back tomorrow. Candace is going live in a few hours. Do not miss it. Do not miss Baron either. Baron is going to be doing his thing. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, but I think Baron's going to be at it as well. Make sure to check out his stream. Baron is probably not here, but thank you again, Baron, for that super chat. Really appreciate you, man. And, that is it, guys. I just wanted to say bye a million times. Lance, thank you for being here. Joel, thank you for being here. Whitney, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you guys as well. And that is it. I am out of here. Take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow.